We live.
We are live. Here we go.
Hi.
It's episode 52.
Sweet.
Got Scottie back on here. This is your second episode on here, right?
Yeah, this is my second one. The last time was myself and Isaiah, but here I am.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like Isaiah's recovering though.
Yeah,
like
he is.
He's doing well.
Ready to
Yeah, let's go, man.
Cheers.
Yeah. We did it at the same time this time.
I know, right?
I keep missing him on every episode. Just like a second off.
That's an interesting taste. But yeah, so Isaiah, he's recovering at the moment. To those that don't know, back in August, Isaiah broke one femur, like completely, I guess, slipped or like a clean break from the hip. And then he went into surgery and they replaced it. And in the process of him recovering, he ended up breaking his other femur at the care facility. So he broke both femurs the same way, basically.
Wow.
And all it really was just him walking. So kind of messed up, but you know, it is what it is. And then finally, like in November, he made his debut appearance basically after all those months. And then now he's out and just slowly recovering. It's pretty interesting going to shows now. Like, I think the only extra feature is that we have to add in a wheelchair as we're traveling.
Yeah.
But besides that, though, we've been making it work, and you know, he's still in good spirits. He's still down to jam.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure after being in a facility for so long.
Yeah,
like recovering. There's only so much you can do in that scenario.
Yeah, I was there roughly like once a week,
Yeah.
checking up on him, and we'll usually spend like 2 hours a day. And sometimes it'll be about music, sometimes it'll just be about how he feels, sometimes it'll be about games.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, it was a pretty interesting experience. So I know Isaiah's watching right now, and he's gonna be like, "Why didn't you pick me up?" And Sir Spencer still stays at the same apartment complex with the many stairs. I know, it would have definitely been something. So yeah,
Well, maybe we can figure out a way to do it remote somewhere.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that coming into the new year, he's gonna be out of the wheelchair. It's just that it's more about his own consistency of making sure that he works out when he can, and then on top of that too, just just time, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see he's back out there, and
Yeah.
he's still going, man. That's cool.
Yo, like last week we played with On to Others, and I didn't hear the conversation or see it. Or well, I mean, of course I seen it, but we're all walking out, and there's like this one girl that just like went up to Isaiah, and she was like like oh my god, like and I take it that it's because of one, his skills, one or second, his voice, and then also like he's in a wheelchair, so like I think that was like the wow factor of it all. So
it was a variable.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk about that later. But yeah, so it was definitely cool, and it is good to have him back on stage because his skills got better was the thing. Like I feel like he got much more cleaner at playing, even though he's our lead guitarist. Like it just sharpened even more as he was there.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Well, glad to see you guys are still going. Are you making some new music?
A little bit. We demoed a few things, but I think going into this new year, because these past 2 years, it's been EP hit the road, EP hit the road, or well, EP music video hit the road. But this coming year is probably going to be our first year where we're not going to hit the studio. This time now we're going to push out the music. Let's see how far we can go. Let's see where we can go. I could say right now, like we're kind of in talks of going out of country, and we're kind of preparing ourselves for that. And then we have a few guarantees for next year too of where it's going to be out of state or new areas that we haven't been to yet. So
okay,
that's where I'm like, okay, I think it would be nice to sit down, write, and release more music. But I think if anything, where we're going to get to is just writing at most.
Yeah.
There was, I will say though, there was something that Isaiah wrote while he was on his comeback, and it definitely is different. Like I like the vibe of it, so I was like, okay, I think that's the direction that we're going on to this new EP. But who knows? I want heavier. Isaiah wants heavier. I think Laryl and Aaron are wanting heavier too. So I think that's going to be at least our trail that we're going to be traveling.
Is that what he wrote? Something heavier?
Well, what he wrote was something prettier, but
okay.
it sounds really good though. Is the thing. So I'm like,
well, there's a way to make a good contrast. You know?
Yeah.
So because like one of the songs is like different than the others. You know, there's always that one song on an album that's like lighter or cleaner.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think to everybody that knows our music now, it's like we have this blend of like death metal meets metalcore type of vibe. Because like even with our metalcore peers, like we're still not necessarily in that same realm too. Like we're much more aggressive than that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why it's like I don't know. I'm not super huge into metalcore, and then like you guys get put on the bill with all the metalcore bands all the time. And it's like when I remember going to see you guys, and it was just like a bunch of metalcore bands as well. It's like I wasn't really into the other bands, but it's like you guys are great. I love the heavier, like more aggressive bands for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scene that we grew up in, though. Like we were talking about the last time, is that we came up from a death metal, punk, black metal scene. So like, of course, even though we were kind of in the same little bit of realm, I mean, we still had like the softer side to us that we still enjoyed. But then once we came out here too, and that was another thing too, is like once we came out here, like we still weren't really on the same scale, I guess you could say. And that's not necessarily like in comparison to others, but more so like we don't really fit here either. Like I mean, we fit somewhere, but I mean we're still getting to know our own lane.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. I mean,
I think most of the bands I really enjoy are like in between genres somewhere. Anyone that's like a solid genre, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you're trying to hit that genre rather than just trying to write the music that you want to write. Just like fearlessly like do whatever the fuck comes to mind rather than try to fit the genre of like black metal or something like that. And I mean, I could see like how people seek out black metal bands for that. They want that out of the
purity
band.
of it.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you in the forest.
I'm just not one of those people. So my opinion, clouds that up. But I'm really picky when it comes to music, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays I'm still open to listening to new bands or stuff that I haven't necessarily heard before. But at the same time, too, I still have like my top 50 albums, like from when I was in junior high school. Like,
yeah, for me, that's all like Metallica and Megadeth and shit like that.
For me, like that's like At the Gates or like Darkest Hour. Like
you're listening to way heavier shit than I was. I was listening to my dad's music. Like, and then my brother eventually got me into like more like death metal. Like he showed me like Amon Amarth.
Oh shit!
And I started getting into heavier bands like Children of Bodom and like a little heavier stuff. And then I saw Black Dahlia Murder live. Like I went with a buddy from high school to a Black Dahlia show. He was showing me some albums. I was like, holy fuck, dude. I didn't know like the guitars were like could sound like this in a certain band. Most death metal bands, like the guitars almost like bleed together because it's so heavy. And it's like, if you don't know what you're listening for, you're not going to hear it.
Exactly, man.
And so after I got into Black Dahlia and started like, getting into the like other death metal bands that are more technical and you can hear the melodies. Like then I started understanding what the older death metal was supposed to sound like. And I'm like, I got into that too, it's like, but you can't just start off with like a death metal band from the 90s. Like it doesn't work out. It just sounds like noise to normal people.
Yeah. I think for me, it was Cannibal Corpse was one of the first death metal bands I heard. And then it transitioned into Deicide, and then Vital Remains, and then Cataclysm, then Decapitated, then Mortician, and it started
dude,
just going into this.
Those are all
whole-
bands I can listen to now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But in high school, if I heard one of those bands, I'd be like, "What the fuck am I listening to?" I was into like Master of Puppets. That was like my favorite album. You know.
I think for me it was like reverse was the thing. Like, so my dad is like a 60s 70s guy, and my mom's like a 70s 80s girl. So like I grew up with a lot of Electric Light Orchestra, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles.
My
the
dad listened to a lot of
Stones,
that stuff too.
America.
Yeah.
My mom was more like Bruce Springsteen, Eddie Money, Def
Billy
Leppard.
Joel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude,
Hall
that's
and
the same
Oates.
thing as my parents,
Yeah.
dude. That's weird.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So like, I mean, I still fuck with it too. Like I could more than likely, like if I have a few beers, that's what I'm more than likely going to go to when it comes to my mix.
Like Sting,
yeah. Or Tesla shit.
Queens, right?
Yeah. So see, like, you know, you get it. But so like how death metal, or well, actually how metal got into that was my two cousins that lived right down the road from me, Tyler and Skylar. So one day I came over, and normally we rode bikes and like we kind of like hiked the mountains and stuff of that sort. But Skylar just came out one day and he was like, "Hey, you want to listen to some like devil music?"
Devil
And-
music.
And it intrigued both me and my other cousin Andy, and we're like, "Should we go in there?" And he was like, "I'll go in there if you go in there." So I was like, "Okay." So we went in there, and then come to find out they were watching Lamb of God's Philadelphia documentary.
Oh, nice.
So like the first song I heard was 11th Hour from Lamb of God. And like since then it just changed my like, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then they had like the Headbangers Ball like compilation albums, and then they had like, I know Nuclear Blast, they used to have like these compilation discs, and it had like all of their artists that are signed but their music videos. So like I found like Amon Amarth from there, I found Dimmu Borgir from there, I found I can't remember who else. I'm like Cataclysm I found from there too. But yeah, it was crazy though. And then I just kind of dove into like this heavier side of music. And I honestly didn't get into like Metallica and like the Big Four, or like, I guess you could say what was metal in the 80s and 90s until like I was in junior high school. Cause then my other cousins and other friends were like, "Oh, like, hey, you haven't heard these guys?" And then of course like Guitar Hero, Metallica, like that introduced like the whole thing of the whole spiel of
You're
Metallica.
like, "Oh shit,
to
this
me.
was actually pretty good."
Yeah, exactly. And I loved like the licks on it too.
Yeah,
like
like
it's-
musically it holds up.
Oh, fuck
It's just
yeah.
kind of cheesy. But
Yeah.
musically it holds up, dude. It sounds good.
I mean, like as time's gone on too, like seeing like how Lars is like in the band, it just kind of like it's such an offset. It's like, man, like
He's
Kurt's
such a
great,
douche, dude.
James great, fucking Robert's great, but just Lars, come on, man, like you don't gotta be like that. Like
Yeah. He's kind of a douche, man. Nobody likes Lars.
But at the same time too, you know, their music stands the test of time. And on top of that too, like if it wasn't for Metallica doing what they do, you know, there are plenty of bands that wouldn't be able to do what they do as well. So I mean there's pros and cons to it. But yeah. But that's my like music history.
Yeah, I was pretty sold on Metallica from like a tiny little kid, you know. My dad would like, he was in a like a cover band.
Oh yeah.
And they would do like rock songs like Collective Soul and stuff. You know, stuff that was like more like I think they did like a Creed song. They would do like Soundgarden. I think they did like a Soundgarden. You know, it was like rock that was like, you
grunge
know,
type of.
it wasn't super
yeah.
heavy stuff, but they did a lot of cover songs and they would play at like bars and stuff.
Oh, that's
My
cool.
dad's been in a band forever.
Oh.
There's actually a segment about it on YouTube. I
kidding.
interviewed him for like 10 or 11 minutes or something about it. He went through his whole history and like that was like a special episode.
Oh, that's sick.
But he pretty much raised me on like all the rock, you know, Metallica and Iron Maiden and like Judas Priest, stuff like that, like the old stuff.
Damn.
And yeah, like I said, my brother got me into the heavier stuff later.
Yeah,
I don't know where he found it, but like I haven't really I guess I don't really, if he told me, I don't remember, but
I think so. When it comes to like the thrash side of things, I have to give that to my friend Elston. He was a thrasher. He had a bunch of Megadeth albums, Metallica albums, Iron Maiden albums. Like that's where I started. I guess I could say I started understanding like the history behind metal from there. But when it comes to like the more modern day of like deathcore, death metal, metalcore, I discovered that from, as I said, my cousin Skylar. But I think he got it more so from like MySpace at the time, because it was such like more easier to be able to download music or find music back then too. So of course, like I started listening to like Whitechapel, Job for a Cowboy, Oceano, Disfiguring the Goddess. So like that's kind of like the realm that I was coming up in. And then my other cousin Tyler, he was more like on the metalcore side, but as well as the death metal side too. I would listen to like At the Gates, As I Lay Dying back then, As Blood Runs Black. I'm trying to think of all the other bands that we would always listen to. The Red Chord. So there was definitely like this whole spiel of bands that we would all jam to. I think my favorite concert that I ever went to was like Summer Slaughter 09, because that basically had all those bands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was, but
back when Summer Slaughter was good.
Oh fuck yeah.
Did you see the lineup they came out with? Like when they tried to revive it?
Yeah. if there's one band that I didn't find out until later, it was a band called Brat. And they're a female fronted, like I would call them like death thrash, if not they're more like on the heavier side of it. And they're like one of the opening acts. And I didn't know that until like, man, I just discovered their album just recently. And
like all female?
Well, just a female fronted.
Okay.
But it sounds really good is the thing. It sounds really OG to the death metal side. So I was like, dude, like, why didn't I know like you were on that bill? But then again too, I didn't know if like I would want to stay around for like the rest of the show. Cause I mean, I know the bands, but I don't really like listen to a lot of them.
It was like,
it was more
not
like
what Summer Slaughter used to be.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like, what the fuck? Like you could have had so many names on this bill. Like if you presented Summer Slaughter to some of the biggest names, they would probably be like, oh yeah, I would do that. And instead you got all these like bands that nobody wanted. I don't know. It was, I can't even recall the bands specifically, but if I looked up the poster, I could probably go down the list. Like, nope.
If anything, shout out to CZYK, even though they're metalcore act, they were able to get that bill. So like, hey man, kudos to you guys, bros. But yeah, I mean, I'm always big on discovering new bands, but like I said, I always go back to my regular albums that I grew up with. I think who I'm on lately is this local band called Bite the Hand. They're like they're like a hardcore based. I know there's a certain term for it.
No, what's local? Like local Phoenix or
local Phoenix? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know that like I should have clarified that.
Yeah, you've got to drive from here, dude.
But yeah, I just seen we jammed with Bite the Hand at when we opened up for Heavy Hitter, and then I seen that they just played Steel Cactus last week, and then I caught them like kind of towards Central. There's like this little, I don't know, it's like a clothing storage shop that they're playing
they like
at.
New?
Yeah, I mean,
or are they just super underground?
They're fairly new, I think. I would say like maybe in the last year or two that they've been booking shows.
I'd call that new. Sure.
Yeah. I think the term that was used for them is like shoegaze band. I don't really understand.
Shoegaze?
Yeah, I don't really know like
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
I mean, overall, I feel like they have like a blend of like metric and I don't know who to really throw as another hardcore act, but they're much more aggressive than metric though. I would say that, but they have like a lot of melodies and hooks and like. But it sounds really good, and live, I was like really entertained. So
that's
shout out to Bite the Hand. I'm even wearing their hat right now. So
okay, I see.
But they're sick though. I mean, ever since we jammed with them, but yeah, just been doing shows. We just wrapped up basically our last show last Thursday, or no, just 2 days ago. Yeah.
Just 2 days ago?
Yeah, that was in Tucson at the Rock.
That's right. I saw you post about that.
Yeah, that one was like last minute though. Like we got booked on it like 10 days before that.
Oh, geez. You're just
but-
like, yeah, why not?
Well, see, okay, this is how it went. I reached out to the promoter. I technically wanted to get on the Escape the Fate show that's in Tucson. So I asked him, I was like, hey, do you got any local acts? Like, or do you need any local acts? But he was like, unfortunately, he's like, no, he's like, that's already booked. But he's like, I have this other show onto others if you guys want it. So I was like, let me round with my guys, round it with everybody. Everybody was like, okay, let's do it. So I got back to him and I didn't hear back for like a week. And I was like, uh-oh, like, okay, maybe we didn't get it. I was like, okay, well, it's all right. So then I sent a follow-up email like a week later and I was like, hey, like, did we get it or are we going to do it? And it wasn't until after Thanksgiving that's when he finally got back to me. Like, I think it was that Monday. And he was like, hey, he said, you guys got it. And he's like, okay, well, let's just start promoting. Let's get you guys selling tickets.
Hurry up.
Yeah, basically. So I was like, oh, man. So I was like, 10 days to sell 30 tickets. But I did it. I mean...
Sounds like somebody else said no.
Well, overall, Ryan, he's pretty cool. I mean, after meeting him, he's a pretty chill dude. It's just the fact that he was coming back from vacation, from what he said, and he said he wasn't really checking his emails throughout that entire week. So then once he finally got back into the business scope of things, he was like, uh-oh. Like,
yeah, like, oh, shit.
Yeah, but then we were helping him out as much as he was helping us out because, like, we were hungry for another show was the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and
well,
then
if you take one on 10 days notice, like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, I mean, we made it work. I think there was probably like 100, between like 100 to 200 people there. And we sold out all our pre-sales.
Nice, dude. And
So-
Isaiah was there?
Yeah, Isaiah was there too.
Nice,
So
cool.
he made
Hell
it
yeah.
all work. And then, if anything, I got in good ties with him or the promoter that is. And it's like, hey, we're going to bring you back down. He said, well, we'll get you on a bigger show or we'll get you on a heavier show. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Like it all works out.
You guys always like blow out the metalcore bands. Like, you guys are always like way louder.
So I was like, okay, cool. That works out. Like at least
they all have their breaks where they do their clean singing,
Yeah.
like clean guitars. Like you guys are like, nah, like we're just gonna go.
just move.
Yeah,
But that I think that was the only other thing that I was a little nervous about because Onto Others sounds more like a goth band, like a real clean guitars, like a Danzig type of vocal line, like the Smiths in a way too. So like it sounded great though. They sounded really good. But the thing is that their fan base though was some of it. Well, I can't blame their fan base. What it really was is just the fact that okay, we got added on very last minute, and now we're gonna go in front of all these folks that more so want the headliner. But I mean, we made it work. We sold a lot of merch. We made a lot of fans.
yeah. It's kind of weird how like just paying attention to those dynamics of like which bands are in the bill and like who's gonna show up for which band and like who's gonna be received well, you know. So it's like it could be like one super heavy band on a bill with like a bunch of I don't know, like they're trying to do like old school thrash, you know, like sound like Megadeth. And then you have like one band in the beginning that's like super hard death metal. So everyone gets all amped up and then the rest of the bands just have less energy. And it's like, so sometimes it doesn't line up either. Like that's what would happen with when I was working with Argonaut. That would happen a lot. Like we'd get put on like early on a bill and then the rest of the bands like just weren't as heavy. And like nobody knew where to put Argonaut, you know, like on, because like it didn't really fit a genre. Like Argonaut sounded so weird, like compared to all the music that was in the scene.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, you put them on death metal, like, or do you put them on like thrash or like, I don't know, like there's nowhere to put them. Like they were in a metalcore show once. It just didn't fit, you know, like nothing fit. It was so weird, but it sounded good and it was super heavy and loud. So like when they would come in and if they were the opening band, like they would have everyone's attention instantly. Like they would come on and just like, boom, like even Luis's sound check, he just screams into the mic in a way that's like, ooh. Everyone looks over like, and then they just start the first song, you know, they come out of the first song, just blasting loud noise, like instantly, you know, so it's like everything was just super, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like this is
Cats with these
like
ears
these
go
guys are
back.
these guys are crazy. And then the next band would come on and they're like doing cleans and like everyone's like, all right, this is
Like the intensity
different.
was just
Yeah,
all the way up
just
there.
just went way down. Like we'd always do that to bands,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It was like hard. It was like awkward almost, but.
Yeah, I think
I was at the merch booth. I shouldn't say we. Like those guys fucking did it. They just came out with their first single, by the way.
really.
Yeah, they came out. They renamed their band Innate One. So they have a new band out, Innate One. They had problems with the name Cytera before. They couldn't stick with Cytera.
Okay.
So they rebranded it as Innate One. And their first single they just pushed it out like a couple days ago.
Oh shit.
It's called Stoned Ape Theory.
Oh, I'll check it out.
And dude, it sounds really good. It's really good. It's Luis as the lead vocalist now.
Oh,
so it's
dang.
just Luis, like his voice. It's so fucking like deep, you know. It's really good. They do a lot of throat singing in this, so it's like, you know, like the deep fucking. The chorus is really good. They do a lot of the throat singing in the chorus.
Oh hell
It's
yeah.
really cool. I wish I had like a heavier bass system to like blast it. I bet the bass is crazy in that song. They had Jared Pettit produce it.
No kidding.
So he mixed it and everything.
Damn.
But he did a really good job. It sounds fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. No doubt.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube right now?
I told him to get it on Spotify.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw he posted it. I went to Spotify and looked up Innate One. It wasn't there. It's like, what?
Like, where's it at?
Yeah, then I went to YouTube and it was there. It's like, I texted Dan immediately. It's like, hey, are you guys on Spotify? He was like, no. Like, why didn't you just click the link? And I was like, fair enough. But, but
Hear me out.
I don't really use YouTube, so yeah, I was trying to justify it. Like, sorry if I was being an ass, Dan, whatever. But get on Spotify, dude.
But yeah, no, I for a while there it used to intimidate me to like be on a show like I'm not necessarily I guess you could say like welcome to. Like everyone has a certain expectation of how the show is gonna be.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of honed into that of like, oh hell yeah, like these guys don't even know what's coming. Like now we have all this like chance to like hit the bar as high as we possibly can to get their attention, and that's exactly what happened in Tucson, because like a lot of those people, they didn't know what to expect, and then after we were done, like we had this long line of people and they're just like, yo, we never heard of you guys, but now we're fans, and like hell yeah.
Yeah,
like,
even if you're at the wrong show, there's going to be like a handful of people who do listen to that type of music, you know.
And that was the thing too. I was like, at first it made me a little nervous, but then I was like, you know what, like I like certain genres and I end up at shows that aren't necessarily the genre that I like, but then I find a band out of that show and it's just like it clicks.
Like they were the weird ones.
Yeah, or if not, they're
like, whoa.
Yeah, or if not that, then it's just like, damn, like they put on a hell of a show. Like I need to go talk to them, or I need to at least go pick up something from them, or if not, I'll start following them then. Like for me, I think that one was like Judiciary. They were opening up for Frozen Soul and 200 Stab Wounds, and then I seen them again opening up for Kublai Khan and Tsunami, and they were like, there's this, I don't know his name, he's the front man though, but I wouldn't doubt homie's like 275, at least 275. But homie had like these white like freaking Nikes on, and he was like jumping on stage and everything, and I was like, god damn dude, like you fucking moving like you're 150 something, man. But I mean, it was like the energy and his intensity, and I was like, damn, like this guy fucking runs the stage, and I was like, I could respect that. And then plus too, their music's more like hardcore based, but I still dug it, and I was like, yeah, I could fuck with these guys. So yeah, but or even like Tribal Gaze too from Texas. They were opening up that show with the Frozen Soul 200 Stab Wounds, and then they were going on tour with Undeath, and I wanted to check them out again, but it looked like this kind of like skinny dude, and I didn't think he could guttural like that, or like not necessarily guttural, but just have like this fucking heavy ass vocal tone. But I was like, god damn dude, like he just sounded like a mini corpse grinder, if anything. And I was like, I fuck with this guy. Like I fuck with this band. Like I want to see these guys more. And sure enough, they were gonna go on tour with Undeath, but then Undeath canceled their Mesa show because of their co-headliner. And then they technically still did the show. And I remember Niall was pushing that show out only for like $5 a ticket. And I was gonna go, but then I was like, it's a bit more tougher to come all the way from San Carlos to the Valley. So I was like, yeah, I think I'll hold this one off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be what it be. Shout out Tropic Gaze.
Well, if you're coming out for a show, hit me up. It might encourage me to get out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'm coming out for.
I've been slacking on buying tickets for shows and getting out in the scene and stuff.
Yeah,
I've been so fucking busy at work.
If you want, well, it's on a Thursday though, but Amaya's opening up for Brace Yourself at the Rebel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to that, but I encourage you to go.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. Amaya's playing. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
Since fucking Sad Dad, dude.
Oh shit.
I haven't been to a lot of shows lately.
It's Brace Yourself, Echoes and Ashes, Amaya, and I believe An Awful Mess. And they're all playing at the Rebel Lounge. So I mean, I'm going because that day is my birthday. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. So
then I have to go. That sucks, dude. You made it impossible to decline. Great.
But yeah, I was just actually talking to Dakota about that too. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go. He said, all right, how many tickets? So I was like, well, I'll buy 4. I'll just pack up my ride. We'll go out.
Nice, dude. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, gotta support the homies, and then I feel like Amaya has always been like so cool with us, like in Alliance and just as friends too. Like I just called up Dakota like maybe 2 weeks ago and I was like, hey man, like what are you up to? And he was like, oh, not much. He's like, I'm about to go what did he say? He was like, I'm about to go to Dave and Buster's with James and we're gonna go like hustle the those like coin machine, like
yeah. That's the only thing worth spending money on at Dave and Buster's. No, they have it right. Yeah, that's the only thing you spend money on.
So he was like, you want to come? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm going into town. And like,
those are the most fun things. That's literally child gambling.
Yo,
like that is the child casino. Is those coin pushers? Yes,
and that's what I was telling
That's
him.
like slot machines for kids. It's so entertaining.
But there was this okay, so there was this technician that was there, and he was trying to fix one of the machines. So there was like this. He opened it all up and they had like the coin purse. So Dakota was right there and he grabbed a big ass handful. And then I guess that technician seen him and he was like, is it okay if I grab another one? And that tech was like, I don't care. So he grabbed that whole, and then he turned to me and James and he was like, hey, yo, he's like, you guys want some? So then he like gave us a handful and he's like, yeah, it's going to run it up. It's going to run it up. So James was on one machine, I was on another machine, and we're just like, and it really was comparison to like using the card. Like if you were using the coins, like it definitely, I guess like scaled up the point system that you use to be able to distribute more coins into the machine.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn. But I think that day Dakota won 2 like Star Trek cards. They're like, I don't know, like game cards. I don't know what they were, but he was all proud of it because he's like, fucking want it, man. And I'm like, yeah, like hell yeah, bro.
He's always enthusiastic. Whatever he's doing, dude, he has like massive enthusiasm all the time.
And then me and James were like going around the Dave and Buster's and like trying different games and stuff like that. We'll come back and home, like Dakota's still like sitting there just like.
Dude, I get addicted to that shit too. That's so much fun. Dude, if slot machines were more physical, like at casino, dude, if they had those coin pushers at casinos, that would be a problem for me.
It definitely would.
Like roulette is a problem for me because I can watch the ball go around. It's like ding ding. You watch it bounce. It's like a physical thing. You're like, boom. Like I feel like craps would be a problem for me because it's like physical dice. I'd be like, oh, like watching it, like I know it's gonna land on the 6, or whatever. Like, so I don't know, man. Like those coin pushers are fucking addicting. That's the only thing I do at Dave and Buster's. I don't waste my money on other shit.
Yeah, for me, I was I was shooting around with the basketball, and then I tried playing Guitar Hero just to see how it was, but that guitar was like so
There's
fucked
no
up.
way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It was like I was trying to play it, and I was like, dude, like I'm not even freaking pressing orange, and like orange is going off. Like, man,
I'll
dude.
usually find a fighting game or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they usually have fighting games there.
Yeah, I think they had like Injustice over there. That was one of them.
Yeah, I usually like or Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
usually a staple in those
Yeah.
arcades. But I don't do the shooting games because they usually cost like $4 per play.
Yes.
You're like, what am I doing?
Surprisingly,
What is this?
like Halo wasn't that much because me and James were playing Halo, and he was like, "Have you ever played it?" I was like, "No, actually, I haven't." Well, like I haven't played that arcade version of it. So he was like, "Okay," and I think it was like 3.5 points. But yeah, we hung out there like almost all afternoon. It was at a Desert Ridge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that one's cool. I go to that one sometimes. It's like right down the road.
yeah. And then after that, we went back to Dakota's. Dakota said he had to put a recliner back in his house. Put the recliner back in his house, and then we went to like a local, like sports bar, ate some pizza, and that was the day. It's pretty cool.
Which sports bar? Is it like
I can't remember the name of it.
I feel like
Tailgate, I think.
Tailgate.
I think that's what it was called.
Tailgaters or something.
Something like that. I know it was like in a shopping center type of field, but it was a pretty big sports bar though. I mean, it had like its full on bar, and then it had like a whole like dining area, and like I think the Raiders were playing the Chiefs that day, so like I guess there was a lot of Raiders.
Is that the game where like everybody got pissed at the refs fucking through the game?
Yeah, something like that. But I was hearing them freaking bark. Like we were like talking, like we're having a pretty serious conversation, and then you just hear, it's just like, what the fuck is that? And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude,
shit,
I
dude.
think the refs fucked that game up really bad. Like there was a whole investigation done on the NFL because of that shit. Like the whole like there's been a huge speculation that the refs are helping out the Chiefs.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I just started hearing like more and more like commotion like
I'm not
happen.
super into sports ball or anything, but
Yeah, I mean, I was just there for the vibes, and
yeah.
if
Dude.
anything, like James would kind of like turn to watch the game a little bit, but he didn't really care either too. So.
See the craziest like I have a crazy story kind of related to that scenario. When I was in Maryland in the Navy, we went to a cigar lounge. There was one that was like 40 minutes away from the base. We'd go there sometimes, and it was me and my buddy. We went there, and we didn't realize that there was a Panthers game on, like a playoffs game with the Panthers and some other team. I don't even know what the other team was, but everyone was a Panthers fan. We walked in the cigar lounge, and we didn't realize it, and there was just a whole bunch of people wearing Panthers jerseys.
Ooh.
And we were probably the only white guys in the fucking whole building. We walked in, we bought cigars, and we sat down on these leather seats, like the only fucking 2 leather seats that were open. We were just surrounded by a bunch of these dudes who were just screaming at the TV for the Panthers. We just felt so out of place. We were just smoking like, oh man, like
Goddamn, my bad.
you're just like watching the game, like not giving a shit who wins. And everybody was just, every time the Panthers would get a touchdown, it's just like, wow, like the building would just explode. Just like, shit.
I was
was
hearing
pretty
this.
fun.
I was hearing this story recently about the World Series, and who was it? It was the Dodgers and the
I don't know.
I don't.
Baseball is lame.
Yeah, but anyways, so like, I think it was one of my friends, but they were like talking about how they were in like the city that was playing against the Dodgers, and like everybody was like all geared up just like that, like with jerseys and everything, and everybody was like getting into it. So then they're like calling up their friends and like, hey, like I'm out here, and they're like, are you watching the game? And they're like, yeah. And like, well, if these guys don't win, like you guys should get out of there because it's about to pop off. But then sure enough, that team won, something like that. But then everybody was like all happy and like cheering and such.
Jeez.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I just can't. At one point, yeah, I mean, I was an athlete. Like I played basketball.
When in school.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's it's just something that I've come to terms with. Like, it's just not really my forte. Like, I could watch it, but I don't really care for it.
We should get a flag football league going in the metal scene, like a little flag football game going. That'd be fun.
That would be dangerous.
You know who I know would be down? Dakota would be down.
Dakota would be down.
Fabio would be down. Fucking any of the Amaya boys would be down.
Oh man.
Fucking the Hernandez brothers, they'd be in. Hell yeah, dude. Everybody'd love to play some flag football. That'd be fun.
That would definitely be something.
I haven't played football in so long.
I feel like we would probably hurt each other.
No. Just be safe, dude. Come on. We're not trying to fuck each other up, man. I mean, nobody's got any sort of rivalry in this scene right now.
It's not necessarily like a rivalry, but it's just like
you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yes. And
don't hurt yourself, and that's it. That's the only rule. Don't hurt yourself, dude, motherfucker.
At the end of the day, like I could see all of us play, and like we're gonna think like, oh yeah, we're still teenagers. We're still like kids that could do all of these moves and take all these hits, and come to find out like afterwards, like your hip's gonna feel all sore, or like it's like age is basically kick
after that first game, you might be a little motivated to do some workouts and
that's a very good motivator.
Some lunges, like you get strong, dude.
Yeah. Get good.
Yeah, get good. Like, come on, you gotta get stronger, or you're gonna fucking break yourself. You know?
Oh shit!
You can't juke somebody if your ankle is just gonna snap. Like,
you just break your own ankle. Trying to break ankles.
Hey, I mean, you could do both. You could juke him and break your ankle. Like, it might work.
That would definitely be something, though. Shit.
Yeah, man. Got to get in that Dippers Discord. Get that shit started. Yeah. See if we can get a league. See how many dudes in the metal scene would be down.
Honestly, I feel like Bandcamp, which is the Discord name.
Mm-hmm.
Bandcamp? Yeah, Bandcamp.
Oh.
Okay, so Dipper, myself, Dipper, I think it was Josh from Ugly People and Isaiah. We were playing Fortnite one day, and I'm in a separate Discord for like with more of my coworkers and some friends that I've met across like the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So Dipper was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about like making a Discord." So I was like, "Yo, like you should do it. Like that would be freaking amazing." Like. He's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking about having like people in bands that play video games. So it's a lot more easier for us to all like get together. So I was like, okay, well then just call it Bandcamp. And he busted up laughing. He's like, yo, like this one time at Bandcamp, and that'd be hilarious. But anyways, so then he makes it. Miles from Echoes and Ashes, he was a part of Discords for like Rocket League, like on a more professional base. So he like really made it look clean, and like there's all like these different subsections of like for vocalists, for drummers, for guitarists, for people that work in the industry, like that aren't necessarily in bands but are like promoters.
So somebody cleaned up the Discord.
Yeah.
And like who did that?
Miles from Echoes and Ashes.
From Echoes. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm sure I've met him before.
Yeah, he's the big fluffy man.
Oh, okay. No.
That's the most nicest way I could say it, Miles. Thank you so much. I love you, bro. He has the very
trying to put a face to the name.
The very deep voice.
The name is so familiar. If I saw him, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, Miles, he definitely revamped the whole Discord. I think right now,
have to talk with him, dude.
Yeah,
I want a Discord for the podcast.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Miles is very open in regards to like anything that has to do with music, that has to do with online play, server structures. I mean, he's in IT himself too, so like,
I'll put in a recruitment request or something, dude. I don't know,
but yeah, he's really great. And overall, Miles is the one that revamped it, and he made it look really clean. So I could definitely see like if we were really serious about doing like a flag football league,
yeah,
he would probably make a subsection of like just flag football, and then like everybody would chat about it, like, hey, let's meet up such and such, because that's really what happens. Excuse me. But there's like a general chat, and then after that there's like a gaming chat, And then with that gaming chat, you could even have like different types of chats. Like you could have something about Fortnite, or you could have something about Minecraft, or you can have something of.
Well, I'm gonna keep the Minecraft realm pretty private.
Yeah,
I don't want random motherfuckers I don't know.
No, I hear that.
Like, oh yeah, I want to join your Minecraft realm, and then they just come in and fucking burn everything to the ground. Yeah, I don't need that.
Oh, it's okay.
Just like see a big penis on the horizon someday. Like, god damn it.
Just freaking big old tower.
I've thought about doing it myself, but then like, you know, I have to look at that every time I go into the realm. Like,
it's like, no.
Yeah. I actually I made the banners. Like, you know how you can make banners that sit on the wall? You can make them in certain patterns to make shapes and stuff. I made like a penis shooting cum, and it was like 2 banners. I made the top half and the bottom half with the balls, so it's 2 banners you had to put. And I put it in Fabio's base. I just put a bunch of them. I duplicated them and put them all over his base. Like, he was like, "What the fuck?" He just texted me while I was at work one day. Like, "What is this?"
What are you in my base?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be fun. A fun story for the Discord or something, you know. But like I said, I want to keep that shit private.
Yeah,
I don't want people trolling everybody.
Yeah, but by all means, I mean, if you want to join, I could send you the invite.
No, I do, and I might ask Miles if he'll make me a tab for myself.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can.
Because I wanna recruit more guests. You know, I want more people from other bands and stuff. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm having the same people on.
Yeah,
and it's like Kyler has been on 5 times now. Shit, not like
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
I love talking with Kyler. Like, I could talk with him for 5 episodes in a row, dude. Like, but I need some new blood in the mix.
No, I hear that.
Get some new bands, and it'll help increase the audience.
But yeah, with the Bandcamp Discord, it's not just everybody that's in the Arizona scene, but as well, like, at least right now, it's starting to branch off like to the nation. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a few people that are from Texas. I think there's somebody from the East Coast too. So like,
I don't know if you know this, but like, do they moderate it?
Yeah, so I'm technically a mod as well.
But how does that work?
So like, just if we see something that goes against like the codes of conduct that Miles kind of placed, so like as you join, you'll more than likely see that codes of conduct of like, hey,
what is it like
just rules, really. Just don't.
Yeah, this is the rules, but like, what are the rules of this? Can you like just name them off the top of your head?
Nah, I can't name off the top of my head. I'm not that deep into it.
Is like, a lot of them?
No, or is it just it's maybe like
just basic like
6, 8. Just don't be a dick.
Don't threaten people's life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, like the supposedly the common sense ones.
Don't post the instructions to make a bomb. You know, like.
Yeah, and then as well too, like I guess like whatever else doesn't go against like Discord's own policies as well. So I mean, everyone's been chill though. Like everyone's not.
Yeah, I mean, usually people don't want to fucking like burn the world down. Most people don't really have that.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like in this scene, I'm pretty sure most people are just gonna be like, "Oh, this is cool," and just participate as a normal human being. Mm. Like, unless you're a psychopath and you just start like, you know,
you just want to antagonize.
You want to fuck everything up. Like, that's pretty rare.
And that's something that I just don't get too. Is like,
yeah, you don't get it because you're a sane human being. Like, like most people don't understand that. Like, I don't understand it either. It looks crazy to me.
Just like, why?
Yeah, like I have intrusive thoughts, but I don't like follow through with them. You know, that's what makes you crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, what if I fucked this up? And then you do it? Like, now you're crazy. Like, I think about it, like, what if I fucked this up? And then I start going through the scenarios in my head, like, oh, that would be pretty funny. And then just don't do it.
Just like, okay, well,
yeah.
Go along with my day.
Exactly, dude. Just play the movie out in your head, and then it's over.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's usually for me, but, you know, some people just want to watch the world burn.
Oh, yes, definitely. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I continue to invite, and then all we just really have to do is just talk to Miles and just say, hey, can you make another section specifically for people that want to do
really
podcasts? Cool. On the flip side of that too, what you could do is you could promote your episodes on there too, of like, hey, I just dropped a new episode, send the link. Everybody that's in the Discord, they'll get a notification about it. So then we just all watch. It helps you. It helps Discord. It helps people get more outreach with their.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's kind of one of the purposes of this whole show.
Yeah.
It's like I wanna try to make the network of like the metal scene as a whole like more I don't know, like sturdy.
Yeah.
Like make the foundation stronger.
Yeah.
So like people have like more of a hub to go to for some sort of knowledge or communication. Like so like these episodes have a bunch of people on it. If you want to know how somebody talks or who somebody is, you can just go watch their 2 or 3 episodes or whatever, and you got a good idea of who they are.
Like on a serious note with that too, like I didn't necessarily know Derek Hernandez from Phage.
Yeah.
I can't
Phage.
pronounce Phage.
It's Phage.
Yes. So like I just had met him at Sad Dad, and it was just like quick like, hey, what's up? Like, hey, I love your band. I love your band too. Like,
Yeah.
hey, hopefully we jam. But he ordered a shirt from us during our big wildfire that happened on the reservation.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been kind of in ties with that. But until I seen the episode that he was on here, like I didn't really know who he was. But then like after I got to know him through Things Beyond Sound, it's like, okay, he's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
and then he's on the Discord too. So like it made me more comfortable. Like,
Yeah, that's
to, like,
cool.
just
Dude.
say-
I like that. I like to hear that. That's like one of my main purposes of this whole show is to
Yeah.
do that kind of shit. But that's cool. Yeah, that guy's a super nerd.
Oh yes, but I love him for it too.
He doesn't look like it, but he's a
Yes.
huge fucking nerd.
He's like a swole nerd.
He watches all these episodes too, so he knows I'm talking about him right
Love you,
now.
Derek.
Yeah,
Hopefully you got your shirt. I mean, I'm pretty sure he got his shirt by now.
yeah. He'll wear it on the next episode.
Hopefully he does. But yeah, though, we can make that happen. But let's kind of flip the script. How have you been? I mean, I know
How
that we
have I
kind of
been?
Yes. I mean, I know we've kind of talked a little bit about it in the car, but like, how are things for you?
For me, like
yes.
personally, in my personal life.
Well, I mean, as personal as you want to get with it.
Well, I don't know. I don't like to talk about work too much on
Yeah.
the show because I don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
But it's pretty hectic
Yeah.
at work. I just install AV equipment like conference rooms and stuff like that, and that's been pretty much consuming most of my time. Like even this week, I've worked like fucking every day has been like 12 or 13 hours.
Oh man.
It's just been like at the same place. Yeah, like they scheduled it for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. And when I showed up on Monday and looked at what I had to do, like, no, dude, this isn't going to happen. And they said, like, what do you just do even
it.
if you worked longer hours, like it wouldn't, like, can you, whatever we got to do, we only have 2 days. How many days do you think it's going to take? I said, 4 whole days. Like, I'm not kidding. And like, they thought I was joking. I was like, nope. And I was there all week finishing this shit. It was put together wrong in the first place. So I had to tear it all down to 0 and rebuild the entire thing. Like, this is like a rack with like rack gear, you know? So it's like, it's got all the microphones and all the different network gear for all the speakers and whatever, all the PCs. And it's stacked into these racks, these 2 racks that fit in a cabinet, you know, about the size of this cabinet right here. So they 2 racks that fit into a cabinet, but the drawings, so like the schematics I'm looking at, are all drawn as 1 rack. So now I have to like decipher which thing goes where and what thing is connected to what. And like the pieces were like all just mixed up. Like it was just like, you know, work on top of work on top of work. Like people just come in and add things.
Yeah.
And they had it over here. They had a piece over here. They had a piece on this side. And so it's like I had to go in and add more shit. And I told them, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to tear this thing all the way down and build it all the way up again. And they weren't expecting me to do that. But
Well, I mean, that at the end of the day, that helps them though, because then you're rebuilding the schematics of it, and it's probably going to be much more easier for
No,
them to understand.
100%. That's what the last 3 guys should have done. Like, I shouldn't have been the one to do this, dude. It should have been set up already. Like, when they described the job over the phone, I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds easy. I'll just come in and add this stuff so that they can use their laptop at the podium or whatever. But then you get there and it's like no, there's a lot of stuff in the way. And like you look behind it and the wires are just a fucking spider web of shit. You're like, holy fuck, man. They didn't even coil up anything. They didn't make it to where you could follow it. Like, so it's like I'm sitting there for fucking 4.5 days just building this shit from scratch. Yeah, but that's the kind of shit I deal with like every week.
No, that's
and you know, I don't want to talk too much shit about it, but
no, I mean, I just want to hear out from your.
I'm learning a lot.
Hey,
I'm learning a lot about what not to do. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm getting good checks from it. I'm getting paid a good amount. So it's like hourly, I'm making a good rate. And they won't ever like refuse overtime.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I got to put in a 12-hour day, they're like, thank you. So it's like I could get all the overtime I want. Like that's
you're
no
trying
problem.
to use that as the excuse, just like it's.
No, I don't have to, dude. I don't have to. This week I had to stay 12 hours to get this done. Like everyone else went home. I was the only one there fucking still wiring this shit up. Like it took so long. Like, it's so terrible. But
I feel like it's
just annoying.
In a way, you know what needs to get done, but the detail of it is the part that takes more of the time of like.
It's the planning. They're not setting me up for success. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, like when I have to do the work and install the gear, there's a lot of wrinkles in the line, you know? So it's like I have to like find all the gaps and like put all the pieces together to make the room do what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to walk in and like push a button and all the projector screens come down automatically and the projectors turn on. It turns on the PC, Teams starts up. Ooh. So the meeting comes up right away. Like all this stuff has to be automated, but if it's not all connected right, you know,
it won't be automated.
Yeah, so it's like pretty complicated system to connect all the USB cables and fucking cat cables and, you know, all the audio connections have to be good and like it's just tedious. It's easy work. But if they don't set you up with the right information on day one, then now you're figuring things out. And like that's like the inside joke in the install crew. Oh, just figure it out. Like we say that and then we just smile at each other. Oh, just figure it out, dude. Right? Just figure it out. It's like that's what it comes down to every single day. But it's I don't know. It's weird. But I get paid enough money and I'm making rent. I can buy beer and weed. So it's not like I'm starving to death. So that's fine.
I definitely hear that.
Yeah, I don't have to work 2 jobs. Like I have a company van.
Ooh.
So it's like I'm set up okay, but it's not. It could be
better.
It could be a lot easier.
No.
If everyone else did their job, it could be a lot easier. But I don't know. I'm not qualified to get into, you know, the management tier. I don't know what they're dealing with, and it seems like a pain in the ass.
Oh man,
I don't want to fix it.
Nope.
I just want it to be fixed. But anyways, other than work, I mean, I'm kind of just trying to get this podcast rolling. Really, yeah. I was trying to talk to some people to get the videos like more consistent.
Yeah.
I want to make more reels. I want to get like Instagram reels and like, you know, the Facebook reels up. I think that would be fun to do that. I was gonna talk to Jacob Santoro about that.
Yeah.
Soon.
What I used when it came to promoting the last episode is I just used Canva, and I just clipped like some of the more highlighted sections of our conversation.
So when you go into Canva, what do you do exactly? Do you upload the file?
Yeah, I upload. Well, I don't upload the full file, but I upload at least, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute's worth of
How did you
conversation.
get the file? Like, what do you do?
Well, I just screen record it on my phone.
Is it just an app on the phone that does that?
No. So like Canva itself, it's more like a marketing tool. So like you can make you could use it to make flyers. You can use it to make like mobile videos.
Yeah, I know what Canva is. Do you screen record it with Canva?
No,
Like,
I screen record it
recording
from my own phone. So like with the
Use-
iPhone, like
iPhone. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. But I mean, overall, so like what I did the last time was I just went to your YouTube video.
Yeah.
I screen recorded the certain sections that I felt like were the highlights of the video, and then I just cut it up on Canva, and then that's kind of what I did. Really, that's all I did, and then I was able to market it from there. So that's why I feel like with our numbers for the last video went up so much is because we're able to talk on like little key points that would intrigue people to watch the entire video.
Yeah, that's what I want to put the reels out there for. I
Yeah.
can, like pick apart from like the middle or something and try to throw it out there.
I mean, it definitely does work, and it definitely did help a lot. It's just that, it is a bit time consuming, especially the cutting of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like, I will say like you can't do it mobilely. Like you have to do it from a computer.
Yeah, I'd use
Yeah.
DaVinci to do it.
Yeah.
If I could, I would use DaVinci. But I'm just I tried to record it from my laptop, and I couldn't figure out how to do it on my MacBook. Like I was trying to screen record the YouTube video with my MacBook, and it would only record the video. It would not record the audio.
Oh man.
So I would just get like a silent video. Like what? How do I get the audio and the video at the same time? Like I don't want to get the video and then try to find the clip and the audio file and like paste it in and like, dude, that seems like way too much work
Yeah.
for me. Like maybe
No,
I'm just a pussy.
No, I hear that, and
It seems too hard.
you're not wrong there though. I mean that technically would be the theoretical way of fixing it.
Yeah.
Like you just get the audio clip, but I know you're just trying not to do you're trying to do the minimum
Yeah,
work
I'm
to get the best product,
yeah, exactly. Because this is all me, just myself, and I don't want to like I don't like doing that kind of work.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of computer programs and like sitting in front of a computer for hours. Like my brain just fucking gets fried after so little time. It's so stupid. Like I'm so ADD when I'm sitting in front of a computer, like doing this one thing. Once it hits like hour 2 or 3, I'm like I gotta do something else. Like I don't know. It's weird, but I can sit and play a video game for so fucking long. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I feel like on a video game though, you're specifically saying like Minecraft.
I think it's only like simulation games, like open world games. When I
Yeah.
really get lost in a world, it's different.
Well, it's therapeutic, at least in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like you
It's
get to
escape. It's not therapeutic. It's escape, dude. I'm in another reality
Yeah.
now. Like
you don't gotta worry about your real life.
Yeah, when I'm playing like
problems.
No
Yeah.
Man's Sky, I could just fly to another planet. Like, I don't like this one.
And you're just at home.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't like this planet. I'll just go to the next one. Whatever. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
No, I definitely hear that. But yeah, I mean, that's. I'm just saying, like that's how I did it though. When it came to us promoting all of that stuff, and then from there, I promoted it to our Instagram. I promoted it to our TikTok, our YouTube.
Yeah,
And then
they're pretty good. I like the clips that you made.
yeah.
I wanna get somebody to help me out though. If you make more clips, dude, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that. But I mean, you live so far away, it would be hard to make like a real.
I would. So
Like, and you're already involved with a band and everything too. I don't want to like depend on you for some shit if you're doing stuff with Alliance too.
well, I mean, I would say that just depending on how soon you would need the product,
Yeah.
I could deliver. It's just that it's the time frame of me delivering that product. Like sometimes I end up getting a little bit more busy on the week, and then sometimes I'm not as busy on the week, and I can turn around something within like an hour. Sometimes it might take me a week.
What if you know how there's like YouTube channels that are like Joe Rogan Companion, stuff like that, where it's like its own channel that takes clips from a different podcast. Dude, just,
That
we'll set you up with your own channel, and then you can just clip it whenever the fuck you want. Like, just put all the clips you want, as many as you want, whatever part of the conversation. I don't care. Like, none of this is censored, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that'd be
it
better.
could work.
Work at your own pace. I don't care.
I think
and then
what
I would just promote your shit on my page. Hey, Scotty's hooking me up with some clips. Check it out.
Well, I mean, like, I think I could do it. I think if I could probably even backtrack some of your other videos that you did, I bet I could find like key moments of like, okay, well, that's, and especially since I am a normal listener. Like I know some certain sections of like,
you just find a spot like, oh, I'm gonna clip that.
yeah, like, and that's all it really takes though. And then from there, like your social media platforms, I could just send it to you, and then you just,
yeah, I'll just share the link.
yeah.
That way, that channel gets traction too. You can promote your band on that channel as well. Like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could work. But if anything, a little backtrack. Your AV stuff, that's something that, in a way, I've been dabbling in myself at work. I'm not fully in it because it's not necessarily my title, but it is something that a lot of my colleagues and people of the organization, they ask me about. So I feel like that's something you could help me with.
What are you trying to build? Like, what are you trying to put together?
Well, I mean, it's not something that I'm trying to put together, but at this point, we're having a third party vendor put something together. But okay. I guess in a way, like,
I mean, that's what I would be. I would be the third party vendor. So like, what is it exactly?
Well, I mean, right now, it's not just AV, but it's more so access management for like our facility.
It's like security.
Yeah, but
that's a different industry.
Yeah, but I mean, it ties into our AV is the thing, and some aspects when it comes to like our conference rooms, like right now, like within our own conference room, like we're running off of like a PA, like just a standard Shure. I can't name the product off the top of my head, sure. But overall, it's running a Shure product PA, and I know that something that I'm trying to get more in scope with is like how I could just have it with the overhead speakers that, you know, are throughout this facility instead of just going off of this one PA at the corner of the room. But anyways, my whole purpose of bringing that up is like, I would like to pick your brain about that. Like,
yeah, sure.
Just learning.
I mean, if you tell me what you're trying to do with that conference room, like I could tell you how my company normally installs it. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in AV.
Yeah.
Like, I don't particularly have all that much interest in the industry. Like, I just put it together because it's easy.
Yeah.
Like, my interest is like having conversations with people. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, that'd be great if I could make money off of this and just do this full time. I just don't know how to do that. This is my best shot, and it's improving. But
yeah, I think it's more like just getting more of the needs or like the supply of it, which is more bands for you to talk to.
Right. I need more guests for sure, but I need to get more consistent
with the marketing aspect.
I need to be more disciplined in just scheduling episodes. I've been slacking on that. Even like there was a couple months where I did like one episode a week, and like now it's maybe once a month. And it's like I need to get back into like doing it at least like twice a month, if not more.
I mean, but you're kind of going through like what we're going through in Alliance is like just understanding like, hey, you probably have a lot on your plate at home or like with your job and whatever else you do. So like, you know, you take it as it comes, you know, but at like once you're mentally prepared and mentally ready to say like, hey, I'm going to start going full time or not full time, but I'm going to start at least putting more time into this. I feel like it'll start working out for you. And that's how it is for me with the band is like, right now, I am kind of going through some shit at home, but I'm starting to like get out of that shit. And now it's like, okay, let me start applying my mindset to like expanding, to growing, to being what it is that I want to be. And it does it.
There's
which
a
is
word
crazy.
for that. It's discipline. Like, I just don't. I don't. I need to have the discipline to fucking do it.
Going all intricate and like
Yeah.
discipline.
I just need to fucking make the plan and carry it out.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
But-
but I definitely hear that though. So
yeah, I've been focusing on trying to make money, and I'm getting to a point where I'm like kind of catching up, but I still got to like fix my truck, and like there's some other things I got to take care of, and maybe I can start putting more time into this podcast, but I'm trying to make as many hours as possible right now.
yeah.
But I don't know if that's just excuses bouncing around in my head. I feel like I could be putting more time into this, but
I think at the same time too, like you're trying to balance it from being like something that you want to do and something that just becomes a chore to do.
definitely don't want it to be a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid that feeling for
Yeah.
sure. I want to have fun. I want to be excited for the next episode. Like, I want to be excited to put it out. Like, I already dread the editing. Like, so I'm trying to counteract it. If I add more dread to it, it's gonna suck. Like, I don't want that. But I feel like if I don't know. I want to find, somebody. Like I just need to find somebody to help me out with the video side, because like it just gets so monotonous to me. I'm not interested. But
No, for sure. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, as of right now with the band, we're wrapping up our year and we're trying to find another member at this point. So with that, that's going to be more my focus going into like the next few weeks.
with finding a bassist,
Yes.
do you can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So like right now, we had roughly about maybe like 10 to 20 entries, like people that are interested.
Okay.
I think what I want to do right now is I want to build a questionnaire for said members that are wanting to join, like just for them to understand, like, okay, what would you do in this sort of scenario, or like how many years of experience do you have? If none, then that's okay. But I mean, just for us to get to know each individual a little bit better without having to like bring them all in, like, okay, we're just gonna try you out. Let's see how it goes. So like really what it is it's me narrowing it down to like, okay, what seems to be the best candidate for us as of this point. Because right now we're gonna be transitioning into like this, I wouldn't call it semi-pro, but just more consistent field of us like doing more shows, getting out there more.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, what it is for me is like I'm trying to find somebody that's very reliable, somebody that wants to be there, somebody that's willing to see us grow just as much as we want to grow. But that's what I'm trying to like really bring it down to, because and there's a lot of people that I think what it was, and that's on my fault, was that when I first announced us needing a bassist, the terms and conditions, at least what I listed there, I know I did right, like in our own hometown of like San Carlos, like in the Peridot district. But I feel like right now we're in such a demand to the point to where like we could relocate here to the valley. Like we could have our practice sessions out here if said person is like skilled enough. Like, okay, so instead of me having to do like practices every week, we could do a practice like every month, like once a month. But I need to make sure like that person we're gonna all be coming out here to the valley to practice with, they're worth making that travel, because it's not just myself, it's Isaiah, it's Laryl. Mm-hmm. We have to all chip in for the studio time. We have to all be able to practice on said day that we're gonna announce or that we're gonna agree to.
Right.
So that's the catch-22, if you will, or like the double-edged knife, is that
so they have to like convince you that they're gonna dedicate their time to it.
Yeah.
But they're actually going to, you know, like.
And like, I think another big question too is the fact that fucking Dakota, he said something stupid about this, but it's like, at this point, I don't even care like if they're native. I don't care if they're Apache. I don't care. Like, what I care about is we want to grow, but I can't grow without another member. But Dakota, he was all like, what did he say? He was like, so about your whole looking for a bassist, he's like, in a way I was kind of interested. He's like, of course I can't make it happen because I already have 2 pretty big projects. But he was like, in theory, he's like, instead of it being 4 Apaches in a band, would it be 4 Apaches in a band and a white guy? Because that's our social tag.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was like, you fucking dumbass. He was like, no, he's like, I'm being serious. Like, so would our social tags have to change? Instead of like Apaches in a band, it would have to be like Apaches in a band and a white guy.
Most Apaches in a band.
But yeah, so I mean, it was hilarious, and I was like, you know what, like, to be honest, but that's what kind of got me going about it too, is like I don't care, like I want this band to grow, like I just want to be able to still play. But sometimes what comes into the way of that is the fact that right now I'm doing vocals and bass, and that isn't bad, and I can do it. But if I could just go full vocal, like you've seen me live, like when I just go full vocal, I'm in the crowd. I'm expressive.
It's better to do one thing.
Yeah.
Like, multitasking is fucking difficult. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's easier for some people, but it's still hard.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's what Luis is gonna do. Or that's what I hope they do. They need to find a bassist, and then I hope I hope they find a guitarist. Like they need 2 more people, and like Luis needs to just sing. He just needs to be the front man and fucking do the vocals, because his voice is fucking awesome. But like if he's playing guitar at the same time, like he's gonna be distracted. You know what I mean? So it's like it's great to see like a fucking singer do it well, like by themselves. You know, like I don't know, you can tell when somebody's singing and playing the guitar at the same time. Like, it's almost like it's impressive. Like, and like you can tell at the same time though.
But you can see their concentration is like split. Amongst the 2, and that's how it was before too. Like before I became full frontman, I used to be the drummer, so like I would drum and sing at one point.
Yeah, that's even crazier, dude. Like holy shit.
So it was just myself, Isaiah, and Ashley when she was in the band, and it just kind of came to that conversation between us 3 was like, okay, well, personally, like I want to just be the vocalist. Like I feel like I suit being the vocalist much better. But like, what do you guys feel? And they're like, well, it just all got flipped back on me. Like, oh, what do you feel? And I'm just like, okay, well, I feel like I want to be the vocalist more than I want to be the drummer. But if we find a vocalist that's fitting, then I don't mind that either, because I would like to get better at drumming. But eventually we ended up finding Laryl. So in that case, Laryl became the drummer and Laryl got better. And that's another thing too to add to with the whole bassist thing is that I think a lot of people get intimidated by the fact like how big we are. But like at the end of the day, like all of us in the band, we all started like at roughly a beginner level. Like Ashley did, I did, Laryl did, Aaron did. And we weren't necessarily like cut to be on stage, but with us continuously working with each other, it then became like, okay, now we can get on stage. Now we can actually like go play shows comfortably. And yeah, you're going to have growing pains in the process of that. Like you're not going to get it right off the bat. But that's why I say like as a bassist, like if I just have somebody that's like dedicated to like wanting to go jam, like the moment that I announce like, hey, so-and-so offered us a show out in wherever, do you guys want to do it? And if that person's willing to just say, yeah, but let's just make it happen, then it's like, okay, cool. Like let's fucking make it happen. I don't necessarily care about their skill level, although their skill level does like play a factor. But if not, then it's like more like, hey, this person just wants to be there, and that's what matters.
If they want to be there, they can get better.
Yeah.
You know,
and they are like, gonna get better. Is the thing too.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
like if you play more, you will get better. Like so, if you want to be there and you want to be a part of the project, like you're going to get better the more you do it. Like that's just a fact. But
yeah,
you got to find somebody who has that same motivation.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about it right now too. Is just the fact that
people will tell you they have that motivation though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they'll tell you they're driven, but it's like they just want to be. I don't know. They just want to play again. They just want to be on the stage again.
Yeah, and that's where I guess you could say too. Like I'm trying to find the vibe because like eventually what it's gonna come down to is like I'm gonna narrow this down to like maybe like 3 candidates, and then we're all gonna jam. So like I'm gonna be like, hey, come out to jam on this date. Let's see what you
individually
got.
Or at the same time?
Oh fuck.
I get like a tryout.
Fucking American Idol
first.
And America's vote is,
dude, if you film that, like stream it, that'd be so funny, dude. That'd be so funny. It would be I don't know if it would be like ethical, but it would be funny. Let's see what you got. It's like solo. This is step 1. Do it improv solo. Go.
Play the whole song without me showing you.
Listen to the song and then play it.
No drums, no guitar, just you. Okay, here's the count.
Yeah. Challenge number 4. Play an original song. Just like,
how good is your singing voice?
Dude, that'd be a good show. I remember there was this one show. Fuck, my mom used to watch it. She used to watch a bunch of, or she still does. She watches a bunch of reality shows, you know, and what was it? It was like some NXS. There was like some band that was like doing a reality show to find their next singer. Like I don't know. It's like American Idol, but to be the singer of like the American U2. It's like I don't know. It was the weirdest fucking show, dude. America has some crazy reality shows, but that one was just terribly like cheesy. Like people were singing to be in some outdated rock band. Like this is wild.
Everybody just crossed arms
in
the back of the venue.
Yeah, they're all just, well, they were the judges. Like all the members were the judges in the big high back chairs. Like, oh, well, you know.
You want to press the button? Turn around?
Yeah, your performance was, you know, blah, 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 4 out of 5. It's like, I don't know. It's just some ridiculous fucking show for a rock band. Like, talk about sell out. God damn.
Mind if I use the restroom?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a break real quick. We'll stop. All right, we're back.
And we are back.
Back again. Back again to talk more about, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, for real. Upon my piss break, I was deep in thought.
Thought occurred to me. Inspiration struck. The muses visited me in the bathroom.
But yeah, man, I mean, I really do enjoy being here. Like I always feel comfortable with the fact like it's not just about music. Like I could just talk about anything. Like I could just like vibe with just being here. But speaking of vibe, what have you been like watching or reading in regards to like anime, manga?
Oh, like entertainment wise?
Yeah.
We can get onto some entertainment. I've been watching an anime recently. I've been rewatching one. It is probably one of the weirdest fucking animes I've ever seen. It's really strange. It's called Beastars.
No, I fuck
dude.
with Beastars. Fuck you guys. It's not a furry thing. I fucking love Beastars.
I mean,
I'll
it
say
could
that.
be a furry thing.
It could be,
but
a furry
it is
thing.
entertaining.
If you see it as a furry thing, it could be a furry thing.
Like
but
I wouldn't deny that it is.
yeah.
It could be. I mean, I'm pretty sure every furry has seen it.
Certainly.
So why wouldn't
Season
they?
2 opening song is fucking badass though.
Yeah, it's a good show, dude. It's a good show. But every once in a while, dude, like every 3 episodes, there's a scene where you're like,
just like
I don't watch
consent to this.
dude. Yeah, I don't want to watch this. This is really weird, you know? Like I keep saying, like, I cannot figure out what the writer's fetish is. Usually,
I guess,
usually in an anime you could like tell, like, oh, the writer's fetish is this.
Yeah.
You know, like you could tell, like, oh, they want to sexualize that part. Gotcha. In Beastars, it's like there's like 13 things. You're like, I don't know. Like, is this about bondage? Like, what's going on? Like, they're all animals. So that's weird already. But I don't know. That's a cool one though. Like as far as the story goes,
Yeah.
like it's super intense. Every scene is just like fucking heart pounding. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's cool.
I mean, if you minus the sexuality of it,
that's the
really,
weird part.
Yeah, but like it's a really good story. Like it's like a murder mystery, really. And I dig it. I've dug it since its beginning, but I'm glad season 3 is coming out next
It just
year.
came out.
Oh,
It's out. That's why I'm rewatching it.
Oh fuck.
I need to catch up to 1 and 2.
Yeah. God damn it.
But yeah,
okay, now I know what I'm doing when it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the first season's really weird.
Oh yes.
Just finished the first season. We're on the second right now. But
Second's more like controlled though, second's more like it knows where it's going, and then it builds you up to what potentially is going to be season 3, at least in my opinion. So,
all right, well, I haven't seen the second season in a while, so I'm like rewatching it. It's been like a year or 2.
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
been a
about,
while, dude. They waited a long time to push this one out.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened, but I don't know what happens with the publishing company, like politics. But
my guess is it might be like the animation studio. Maybe they had to renegotiate said contract, or if not that,
there's been a lot of crazy shit happening in the entertainment industry too.
Yeah,
like a lot of contracts ending, but also a lot of renegotiating actors, like rights, and
renegotiating IPs as well. So
yeah, dude, there's a lot of shit that's in turmoil in the entertainment industry as far as like publishing films and even anime goes. I mean, they just announced a season 3 of One Punch Man.
Yeah, I seen that,
So,
and I was like, "Yo, like,
dude, I can't wait." I fucking hope to God it's the same tone as like the first and second season, because those anime were so fucking good. And I'm gonna watch. That's like one of the few I like subtitled more than dubbed. Dude, dubbed it does not have the same hit. You know, like when you're watching it subbed, dude, Saitama's voice. He's just so monotone. Like, okay.
boy."
He just doesn't give a fuck about anything. It's so much better. Just stupid. The Americans like dubbed version is just way different. I don't know what it is. He just seems like an idiot in that one.
But yeah, no, I definitely hear that, and I've been waiting for it, to be honest. Like, just I remember when season 2 came out, and like all my homies were all like so happy about it, but then the fact like, okay, well, season 3 is like in development, then it's like season 3 is like there's like uncertainty of season 3.
Yeah,
so it's like, damn, like what's going on? Like,
I don't know, something with the Japanese publishers, dude. That's shit where you really got to get into the research of, like, I mean, you're talking about really niche journalists now. journalists who focus on Japanese anime being translated into
Oh,
English.
fucking-
There's probably like 5 people who pay attention to that. Like,
Fucking dumb, man. I think for me, I've been on as everybody else at this point. To be honest, it's Dantaran.
really, what's that about? I haven't watched it yet.
So Dantaran, it's like a mixture of alien and ghosts within like a high school academia vibe. But
So like undercover?
no, just
like
I would say more like them solving. I guess you could say like them solving mysteries.
it's a mystery
about-
show.
I
I mean, that's okay.
I
mean,
would claim it as such.
technically Yu Yu Hakusho is a mystery show.
Yeah, I
It
would.
has action, but it's a mystery show.
Yeah, but the thing too is like I will say, and that's I think what kind of offsets a lot of people about Dantaran is that it's very sexualized, like very like,
Everything is. Oh my
yeah.
god.
So like
I want to see people get fucking
yeah, but
Fucked
that's
up,
the thing
dude.
too is like it has a lot of action with it, and the storyline's like pretty good too. They're just about to wrap up season 1, and then to my understanding, they're supposed to announce season 2 like next week, some sort. So that's what I've been vibing with lately. Besides that, though,
Have you watched the new Dragon Ball at all?
no, I haven't. I know that Isaiah
either.
has. I think Isaiah has, because Isaiah is more in touch with Dragon Ball out of
Okay.
like all of us. So I'm not too certain.
Have you heard his opinion on it or anything?
I just know that some major change happened within like the industry. Like someone, I think the creator died or someone.
Yes,
Pass.
and this is he wrote the next extension of the universe before he passed. Like he
Yeah.
had notes. It's like a Frank Herbert kind of thing, I think,
Ah,
where it's like the story continued based off of his vision,
okay.
but he's obviously not a part of the creation at this point. But I think it goes back more towards the roots of Dragon Ball, where it's more adventure-y and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I think they kind of took the cop out of like, oh, we're in another realm now, you know. So it's like, oh, we're in Demon World, you know. So it's like, oh, new villains, new physics, nothing matters. It's all magic. It has nothing to do with power, you know. So now you have to find magic or whatever. I don't know, but it might be pretty cool. I haven't like sat down and watched any of it yet.
Yeah, I haven't myself. If anybody that I do know though, it would be Isaiah. So who knows? I might talk to him about it here soon. I know he was kind of like raging about it too. Like, I think it was maybe several weeks, if not months ago. He was just talking about how like the continuation was gonna keep going. So I was like, oh dang. But I wasn't really paying attention to. So
Yeah. Have you seen any movies?
I watched Moana 2 with my daughter.
Moana 2?
Yeah. It's
Was it good? I like the first one. I
I
thought
like-
the first one was all right.
I like the first one. I still feel like the first one's better than the second one. But
Sequels
that-
are always worse.
I think what happened is that they really melt the idea of like, you know, the direction that they were going, and like, I mean, it's not like fully melt, but it's just like I feel like dang, like with other movies that had a second tier, I was like, this one's okay. Like my daughter was entertained, so I was like, hey, that's all that matters for me at this point.
Disney
yeah.
makes movies for
Yeah.
kids. That's the bottom line. I mean, if the kids don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's all the familiar characters. Like they didn't really have to do much with Moana 2.
Yeah.
It's like Moana was already a super popular movie. If they like made a Rapunzel 2, everyone would go watch it. Like
Yes, they would. Yes,
they will.
would.
They will.
They will.
Rapunzel 2 will happen. Just wait.
Besides that, though, I was trying to go watch Wicked the other week.
Wicked,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm not a theater person, but I mean, I just wanted to go see what it was about.
Yeah, I don't really care about the whole theater thing either.
Mhm.
I'm more like analyzing the film for what it is.
Yes.
Like I'm like watching the film and the acting and like the directing, like the editing, like how are they clipping these parts? Like, oh, that was a weird edit. Like, why did they cut to that? You know?
Yeah.
Why is the camera spinning in a 360? Like, what the fuck? You know, just like, you know, you could tell when it means something and when it's like the director's just being weird. You know, like I like to analyze that kind of stuff. Like the theater is not all that important to me. Like I know what a Harkins feels like, you know, so it doesn't matter.
No, but I mean, like for me, I grew up like, because of course, like I grew up like watching a lot of like DVDs and like even like VHSs too. But like what I like to watch was like the special features. Like I like to see like the behind the scenes of like how it was made, or like even like the CGI process too, or like even like audio commentary of like how the director or said producer was feeling when they were like filming such. So like I like looking into details like that. But as of lately, like nothing hasn't really like caught my attention.
Well, I'd be interested to seeing like a behind the scenes or an interview with the director and producers of Wicked, because the trailer I saw, like I forgot what movie I was gonna go see. Forgot what I saw in theaters for that trailer. But we saw the trailer and everyone in the theater, like after the trailer ended, everyone in the theater was like, what the fuck was that? Like we heard like several people go like, was that racist or what? Like, holy shit. Like it was literally like the whole trailer was set up to be like, oh, you're green. And like it was just about how she was green. Like the whole trailer was about how she had green skin and nobody liked that she looked different. And like the whole fucking trailer. And everyone in the theater was like, whoa. What the fuck? Like, so it's like I don't know if that's just the trailer was built terribly, or if that's the whole movie. I don't know. Like, but everyone seemed to fucking love the movie, and it's like I kind of want to watch it just to see. Like, the trailer I saw made it seem like it was like, oh wow, another fucking super woke bullshit movie. Like, but then all the reviews came out and I was like, oh, this is such a great movie. And it's like, I don't know, I kind of want to see it to see if it's what my expectation thinks, or it's just if it was just whoever made the trailer tried to profit off of the whole race war going on right now. Like I don't know what it was, but that trailer was fucking crazy and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that movie's gonna suck. And then it came out and everyone loves it. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think for me, it was like, it kind of intrigued me, like how like Barbie did. Was like, everybody was like, all like last year, everybody was like, Barbie's like the #1 movie of the year. Like, Barbie needs more recognition. So I watched it and like, I understood where it was coming from, like, especially from knowing the fact like I have my own daughter, like from like I guess you could say like a woman's perspective. But at the end of the day too, I was like, okay, well, I understand where it comes from, but now it's like, was it like as good as like everyone was like praising it to be? Which
huge production.
And that's what
big production budget.
I was like, man, like but at the end of the day though, like I still enjoyed it. So that's why I guess I could say like I gave like Wicked that chance too, of like, well, I mean, it looks cool. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind just like sitting down, but it was like a 2-hour, 45-minute movie. I was like, oh dang, that's quite some time. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, like am I gonna dedicate almost like 3 hours of my day? But I mean, I asked my daughter too. I was like, do you want to go watch it? And she was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's go do it. Like, but unfortunately that same day, like next, or at least for our local theater that's next to San Carlos, it didn't have a showtime for like until like 6:30, I think it was. So I was like,
Jeez.
and at that time it was like
It'd be like
3.
10 o'clock at
Yeah,
night.
and
Getting out.
I was like, damn, like okay, I don't know if we could like stick around because we were already in town, but I just wanted to see like what was showing. I was like, it's quite some time until the movie shows. So like, I mean, I kind of like baby my daughter too. So like, I was like, I don't know what you want to do, and she was like, well, why don't we just go to like the valley? I'm like, yeah, we could, but that's like all the way that way and then all the way back. So
Just get it yet?
yeah, but she was like, but I mean, it makes sense. At least I understood like where she was coming from too. She was like, but it makes sense though because we could still go watch the movie. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But we didn't watch it, so that's why I was like, I guess I'll wait. What I do want to watch is that that Lord of the Rings animation.
The War of Rohirrim.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out too. That looks really good.
now especially like I think Peter Jackson's like co-directing it or co-producing it.
Yeah,
so,
he had a part in that.
so that's why I'm like, man, like I really do want to watch that one.
They just announced he's going to make 3 more movies too, I think.
No shit.
It's either, I know it's going to be based on the Silmarillion. So it's going to be like the prequel to Lord of the Rings, but Peter Jackson is going to be like directing it.
So I would think that it would be during the time frame of like as the rings were made, like somewhat like Rings of Power,
thousands of years before Frodo.
Yeah,
And fucking Samwise and all
yeah.
that. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I wonder if they're gonna like make Gandalf. They're gonna put Gandalf in it. He wouldn't be young. He still should be old. He should still like be old. Is I don't know. Gandalf, is he still around? Who played Gandalf? I don't think he's around, huh?
No, he is.
Is it
Same-
Ian McKellen?
Yeah, same person that played Magneto.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
He's still around.
It's
but-
the other guy, the guy who played Sauron.
Yes,
He's the guy who passed. What was his name? Sir. He was also a knight. Sir. I forget his name.
Christopher, was it?
Yeah, Christopher something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. I should know that, dude. That guy was a badass. He was Count Dooku.
Everybody that's watching, they're probably like
fucking
screaming
Count,
at us like
Count Dooku. David Hernandez is probably like, you fucking asshole. Yeah. He knows that by heart for sure.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I know he's a badass. He fought in World War II
And in the Clone Wars.
and in the Clone Wars. He started the Clone Wars. I don't know if we should bring that one up.
Oh,
That's
man.
a war crime.
Yep, that is. Derek's
Whatever.
like, I'll fucking get into that. That's what Derek's saying right now.
Whatever. Anakin got him. Is that what happened? Did Anakin end up killing Dooku?
Yeah, Anakin ended up killing Dooku.
Cut his head off?
Yep, and that's what initiated him being into the set. Derek could correct me because Derek's gonna be like,
No, I remember.
actually,
Yeah, I remember the chancellor was like, "Do it." And he's like, he had 2 lightsabers.
I shouldn't.
Stupid Anakin. He did bring balance to the force.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is or at least even how George Lucas explained it too,
It's
is
the thing
like
that bugs me, dude. A lot of people, they like idolize Darth Vader and like the stormtroopers and like the Galactic Empire. The Galactic Empire. They think it's all like badass. It's like, dude, that's like the saddest story ever written for children. It's like the saddest children's story ever.
and now it's owned
like-
by Disney.
Yeah, it's by Disney. And like they're just fucking idolizing this dude and selling all these toys and stuff. And like, dude, that's, if you think about it, like go through the process of what Anakin had to do to become Darth Vader. It's like, dude, that's the most fucked up story in the world. He was like born to like his mom was a slave when he was born.
He was born a slave.
Yeah, and he gets like taken by the Jedi Order, just removed from his place of birth to become like some knight that has like super discipline. He can't live a life. He's already like sucked into some order that's like, I mean, subjectively good. You could argue that the Jedi Order was actually just as evil as the Empire.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things.
That's the whole reason why it broke too. I mean,
yeah, there's good and bad, but there's also like a pendulum that swings. So it's like, how can you claim you're the ultimate good when you're not taking any of the other variables into account? You know, so it's like there's a deep story there. But I mean, Anakin himself, like he goes through this whole process, and like he's fighting the whole process at the same time, like asking why, you know, this whole time. And then he gets just set up for failure. Dude, he gets set up for failure so bad. They're like, oh, protect this 16-year-old queen from any assassinations.
I'm gonna fuck it.
And he's like, well, I'm like 15. It's like,
he's like, no, it ain't bad.
She was 14 and he was like 9 when they met.
Yeah.
Like a 5-year age gap.
She was a cougar.
The second movie, it did not look like a 5-year age gap.
Nope. She was a cougar. I'm telling you right now, Padme, or not Padme. Yeah, it was Padme, right?
Padme, yeah.
Padme was a cougar. But we don't talk about that. We talk about how happy they were.
They were happy for a little bit.
For a little bit. Teensy bit.
Yeah, and then he joined with the Chancellor.
Yep.
No good.
You will not take her away from me.
Yeah. And then his fucking, his sensei fucking chopped his limbs off.
Yeah.
Because he had to.
So he had to go through trauma.
So sad.
Trust issues.
He didn't even know he had 2 kids. He thought he only had 1. Thought he had a son. Didn't even know he had a daughter.
Yep.
He was hunting her down. He was going to kill her. Didn't even know it was his own daughter.
That's sad. That's very sad.
Fucking A, man. I would never want to be Darth Vader.
That's some toxic ass redneck shit right there. Just like
the galaxy rednecks. They just happen to have all the guns.
Leia, you get back here right now, dude.
I'm gonna cut your fucking hand off.
Luke, where you at?
Luke, I'm your daddy. Who's your daddy, Luke? It's me.
Oh,
no!
Oh, shit,
please, God, no!
There goes my head again. Oh, fuck.
Han Solo's drinking a PBR at the boats.
Get him,
man.
Chewie.
Chewie's just a dude with long hair and a beard.
Oh, shit.
Just grunts.
Oh, fuck.
We could make a redneck fucking Star Wars easily.
It would happen.
Be better than Spaceballs.
Derek would be down. Oh, fuck.
We gotta compete with Spaceballs. If we're
Fucking
gonna make a Star Wars parody, though.
Fucking Spaceballs 2 still hasn't been out yet, man.
I thought he was gonna make it. He announced it.
He announced it, but
and he turned 90. It's like,
God damn age.
How's a 90-year-old guy gonna direct a movie? That's crazy.
Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
I'm still waiting, man.
I'm still waiting too.
I was driving the other day.
Need.
I saw a big ass fucking Dodge, like a dually. It had big ass mud flaps on it. It just said Spaceballs the mud flaps. And both mud flaps. Dude, it was so good.
Oh fuck.
It was amazing. Spaceballs the mud flaps.
Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one.
May the Schwartz be with you. I'm still waiting for. Did History of the World Part 2 come out?
No,
I haven't kept up with it, but I heard they were making that one too.
Really?
Yeah, they made a Part 1 in like the fucking 90s. They never made a Part 2. They just did History of the World Part 1, and it came up to like modern day. It's like that was it. Like, it was so genius, dude.
Good Lord.
There's a lot that's happened since then.
There definitely has.
It's only accelerated.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I just listened to a podcast like this morning. I don't know if you listen to the Sean Ryan show. I know a lot of people do. It's one of the big ones, dude. It's one of like the top 5, top 10 or something.
Yeah.
But Sean Ryan is like an ex-CIA, like ex-special ops kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's just a normal fucking dude. Like the way he talks, he's like, no fucking way. No way, dude. Like he's just like super down to earth, like normal guy. But he interviews these people that are like, you know, in the CIA or like, you know, they're like journalists, like trying to undercut them or like whatever. Like, but he had this recent episode on. Her name was Sarah Adams.
Yeah.
And I think this is like her 4th episode on or something. But she's talking about how these terrorists are like banding together right now. And like they're getting in to the United States and they're trying to plan a homeland attack soon.
Oh,
and like nobody's talking about it. Nobody's fucking talking about it. And just think about how open the border is right now. And like how you can just fucking get on in, fake passport, whatever. Like you claim an asylum, you're good. Like you can go wherever the fuck you want. And it's like how many people have got in who are a part of these terrorist groups who are just ready to fucking like set off a bomb. Like boom. Dude, it's gonna get crazy. Because she dropped the news the last episode she was on. I've been trying to follow this. And the last episode she was on, she was telling about how Osama bin Laden's son, I think his name is Hamza bin Laden, he is marrying into all of these terrorist organizations. So he's taking on multiple wives to be a part of like Hamas and Hezbollah and like ISIS and all of these terrorist organizations. So he's literally running all of them. But the difference between him and Osama is Osama was trying to take credit for all of the actions that his terrorist organization took. So if a bombing happened, he'd be like, oh yeah, that was fucking, you know, that was us. That was Al-Qaeda. For sure, it's Al-Qaeda. And like this time, he's like, I don't want Al-Qaeda's name to be mentioned. No Al-Qaeda. Like, do not say our name at all. He's training all these people to like never mention that name. So it's like now he's creating a secret organization that's like connecting all these terrorist groups. And it's like if you're concerned about this at all, go check out that episode. Like I'm not fucking around. Like, but this is the kind of shit I've been listening to lately. It's getting so crazy, man. Like these terrorist groups are ramping up for something huge. But the Sean Ryan show is a pretty good source of information. This guy does not give a shit about censorship. He's just like, I need to get this info out there. Like, fuck it, man. Like, I got to talk to these guys.
Hey, man. I mean, he's looking out for the average American. I mean, he's just trying to make sure everybody's like taken care of. Unfortunately, on my case, I'm native, so like we just go retract back to the lands, and that's something like my family has always talked about too. Is like if shit were to pop off, like I think we could manage. Because
just keep some guns, dude. Keep some ammo.
I mean, we of course like we have our own weapons.
Just make sure you have ammo. That's the main thing.
A big thing too is like some of my other extended family too. They have like they're archers. Yeah. So like they specialize in archery. So even like if ammo were to go out or if we were to be limited, they would still be able to manage. So like.
Archery is cool, but it's pretty short range.
Yeah,
Can't go very far.
Yeah, I think more so the factor for them with archery is like the amount of game that they could actually get access to. So like when it comes to like an archery hunt,
Yeah, hunting archery is fine.
like they could get probably the bigger game than anybody could possibly get because they're just fucking right there. Like
If you have the knowledge
Yeah.
and the location,
yeah,
like if you're there, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
but besides that though, I mean, I don't
I don't know.
know.
It's just a concerning episode I listened to this
yeah.
morning. I had to say something about it.
No,
That's
I mean-
fucking crazy. What's going on right now?
I mean,
Like people are making fake passports and coming up through the southern border. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm from Syria, but they're actually Egyptian. It's like, is a border patrol guy gonna know? Is he gonna know the difference between like a guy from Iraq and a guy from Afghanistan? He's not gonna fucking know. He's not gonna have a clue. It's like anybody can come fucking just walk right through that place. Like there's people who are Russian who sound Chinese. There are people who are Chinese who sound Russian. Like it's just like Europe is the other side of the planet. You know, we don't have that experience. We don't know the dialects and the accents. Like we have no idea. We could tell if you're from, you know, Georgia or from New York, but we don't know if you're from Russia or Ukraine. You know, it's like there's a bunch of people coming in from the Middle East that are just fucking planning something. Like there's plenty of info out there, but I don't know, man. Just
it's gonna happen. I mean, eventually we're planning for a downfall, and we have been planning for a downfall. As
I think that most of the people in power are planning for longevity more than planning for anything nefarious. It's all selfish. So everything that our leaders are doing right now, it's for themselves. So like any of the people that made this happen, like go fuck yourselves. I don't care. I'm going to build a bunker. I'm going to build a yacht where I can get to my bunker. I'm going to, you know, so it's like, I'm going to be fine. If war like fucking destroys the United States, I'll be okay. You know, they're trying to like set up for their family living to the next stage, you know, and it's like, they don't even know what the preparation is going to take. They're just guessing. Everyone's just guessing as far as like how to survive to the next age, because civilization is crumbling right now. It's getting so crazy. If you're like paying attention to politics, dude, there's so much stuff in other countries that's just fucking falling apart like crazy. Like empires used to last hundreds of years. Right now, everything's dying like 50 years at a time. Everything's just fucking collapsing every 50 years. It's like, dude, the timeline's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. America's been here for like, what, 250 years? We're about the end of our rope. It's getting pretty nuts. Like, there's some pretty unprecedented things happening in our government. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen next. But
it's gonna happen.
What's going to happen? Hopefully it's not a terrorist attack.
I'm hoping it's not.
It's looking likely.
I mean,
it's unfortunate.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it too myself.
Just
like
waiting for the next fucking bombing, dude. It's crazy.
I think at the same time too, like as such thing were to happen, like people lean in on it more so upon their own hatred of like whatever country affiliation that they might be.
That's
hating.
what scares me.
Yeah,
I don't want them to hate a country.
Yeah,
I want them to defend themselves. Like,
but
don't fucking look at whatever's attacking you like as an ideology. Like just defend your home.
But at the same time too, I feel like it's such a like a vulnerable point too. Like the moment said like an attack were to happen or some part of this nation were to get hurt, like they would act upon it of like, oh, it was them, like, and maybe make a fake
with the Iraq war.
Yeah,
dude. That's exactly what happened with the Iraq
and
war.
then unfortunately, like that, it's just gonna put blame on somebody that probably wasn't even involved, or it was just all based upon like someone being skeptical about the fact.
But we could sell more bombs. So get more money.
Money.
You know, the bombs are sending to Ukraine. The money actually comes back to the United States through the weapons manufacturers.
Yeah. Definitely.
They actually used that argument on a news story once. They're like, yeah, but you know, the money we spend on bombs that we send to Ukraine, it actually goes back to America. Like, what? Like, that's not where the money needs to go. Like, we don't need the money to go to the people who are billionaires who create missiles. Like, what? That's not.
Why? Just like,
That's
why?
not stimulating the economy. You know what I mean? It's like, fucking A, man. That's not making grocery prices go down.
No, it never will.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, we're still here.
I just hope these wars end. Really do. Any sort of political opinion anybody else has, I don't care. Let's just stop fucking fighting wars on other continents.
It definitely would be. I would hope so, but I mean,
It seems logical.
well,
like, let's stop doing that. We're the ones making it happen. We're literally making it happen. Like, can we just stop?
I mean,
Like, what the fuck?
I'm kind of native that got all my land taken, so.
No, I mean, that's another story entirely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if anybody, you could understand how fucked up this is, dude. Like, this is fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
and it's so wild what's
It
going
definitely
on in
is.
other countries, and they're just on the news here pretending everything is okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah,
I mean,
it's fine.
they're not gonna put like our nation to a panic. Like they're not gonna risk that to have it all like anarchy happen upon our nation. Like they're gonna do their best to hide everything as much as they possibly can until something does happen to the
Till
point
the
where
fucking
they
bomb goes off at the Capitol,
Yep, and then finally like, oh,
and there goes my YouTube channel.
just like
Fuck.
oh, there's oh well.
That phrase bans your YouTube channel. I just
Oh, man.
forgot.
Well, beep, 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 beep.
Fuck.
Well, you edit it out.
Yeah.
And
I don't-
then,
I've only
we're
edited-
back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey. I've only edited one thing,
Yeah.
but
It's okay. I mean,
yeah, dude, it's getting pretty crazy out there. Have you heard of the drones over New Jersey? Have you heard about that thing going on?
I seen a post somebody like was shooting at them like as they're
They're shooting at them?
yeah.
Whoa, I didn't see that
Yeah,
one.
I seen
Holy
that. I think it
shit.
was like today or yesterday, but
It's like northern New York or something.
yeah,
like
like local residents are shooting at like
Yeah,
drones, UFOs that are in the area.
that's probably not New Jersey.
I'm not too sure, but I did see something similar recently.
That's
though.
crazy, dude. But yeah, dude, there's like a whole bunch of drones flying in the eastern coast right now.
No kidding.
It's pretty weird. I don't know. They're saying they're like SUV sized, like drones. Like
Dang.
they could have pilots in them. Like they could not be drones, but like piloted aircraft.
Mhm.
Like that's like a new theory going around. But what people are scared of is like those things of that size can hold payloads. So you could hold a bomb in something like that and just drop it. And it's like we don't know, like we don't know, right? In quotes, like where they're coming from or where they're going. It's like, I don't believe it. I think they know exactly where these drones are coming from and where they're going. I feel like they don't want to tell the public that they know exactly where they're coming from. It's probably like a ship off the coast, and they don't want to alarm people because you can't just like push a ship out of the way. You can't just be like, okay, we're going to tow you over here now. Like you can't just do that. So if somebody wants to say like, no, we're going to sit here and we're going to launch drones. It's like, are you going to declare war or not? Like, I don't know. Like, do you want to push that button? Do you want to say like, okay, now we're at war? Like that like with the amount of tension that's in the world today, that would be World War III. If anyone declared war right now, besides Russia, of course, like they're already in a war, but I mean, it's like if anyone else was to go to war, that would now be World War III with all the alliances that are tied up in each other and stuff.
Alliance.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are getting too crazy.
No, I feel like it'll continue to, and unfortunately, it might even like not necessarily be in like in our generation, but the generation after or
God,
the
I hope
generation
not.
after.
I hope I never see a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
I never want to see a mushroom cloud. Like, no thanks.
The moment I do, I'm gonna be like, Spencer, you're seeing a mushroom cloud right now.
Yeah. Fuck. That would suck. I don't think Arizona's important enough.
Nah.
No, we have that FBI building like a mile away. That's about it.
We got casinos.
Casinos? If anything, they'll save those. This, like the entire United States will be their Las Vegas.
Woo!
Yeah, I think it's a gamble now. They just have to leave they have to leave their country to do it.
Yeah, though. I mean, I just think like from my own perspective and my own understanding, at least on a tribal sense too, on top of that, shit, it be what it be. Like even like our own like tribal governance and politics, it's no different from like what the nation is going through. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's just like people helping each other out, like not necessarily helping the public out, but more so like helping those that they feel important out. And I mean, we might suffer, we might not, we might survive, we might not, but that's just life as of this point, which is like scary, which is uncertain, but it's just the unfortunate truth of life as of this point. Like damn, like I feel like my parents and my grandparents, they probably never expected a life to be like this. Like I want you to grow, I want you to succeed, I want you to do these things, be great at what it is that you want to do. But now we're like facing this global crisis of like space, this global crisis of like resources, this global crisis of like war. And of course, my more than likely my parents and my grandparents had experienced such, but now it's like, okay, now it's to the point to where it could potentially wipe humanity. It could potentially end the race of not only a nation but humans as of this point, which is. But
yeah,
hey,
I
we're
think
we're here.
I think that humans are so resilient with the knowledge we have. I don't think humans will go away unless it is completely unlivable for mammals. Something completely drastic would have to happen to where like all the oxygen fucking leaves the atmosphere. All the water gets dried up. Like something crazy where like one of our fundamental, resources goes away. Like unless that happens, humans will survive. We have the knowledge and resources to survive. We've been around for so fucking long. I don't think there's anything that's going to take us out other than maybe something from the sun. The sun could have a possibility of like destroying the atmosphere. Then the atmosphere would have to like reset. That would be catastrophic. We would all be fucked. I don't think anything on Earth can take out humanity. It might wipe it down to a very small number, but I don't think humanity is going to go away. I mean, there's like a lot of mythology that says humanity already got, built up from almost nothing. So it's like, how many of those stories are fake? They all kind of say the same thing, is that humans were made from, this small amount of resource. Like humans were just created. It's like every mythology says that. It's like, why does that exist? It's like, do we just feel like we were created, or were we actually created? So it's like humans can exist for I don't know how long, but I feel like civilization can just continuously be rebuilt as long as any amount of humans exist. I feel like it's happened before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Whatever happens, I think we'll survive as humans.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
On to be continued.
To be continued. Yeah. Have you looked up any of Graham Hancock's stuff? He does a lot of work with this theory called the Younger Dryas impact theory. It's like 11,000 years ago or like 12,000 years ago, a piece of a comet slammed into the North Pole and caused a great flood. And it pretty much caused the ice age to end rapidly. But I guess the sea level was lower, and there was a lot more tropical area around the equator, so like Egypt, things like that. So there was a lot more, like the sea level was like hundreds of meters lower, or like way lower. So all these coastal lands were in different places. So all the places people would normally build would be underwater today. So all these ancient cities,
Atlantis,
all these things, like, and underwater archaeology is really hit or miss, and it's really expensive, and not a lot of people do it. And it's like, if there's any wood or any organic material under salt water, it's dissolved, it's gone. So what you're looking for is like metals and like stones and like things that are unnatural, like any sort of shipwreck, gone. Like you're looking for like treasure from the shipwreck, things like that. Yeah, shit like that, dude. It's crazy. But he's saying that there was a great flood when this comet hit the North Pole. It melted a whole bunch of ice and flooded everything, and just like a mile high wave of water just washed over from north to south, just whoosh, all the way gone. And this hit like above North America. So North America got hit the hardest. So North America just got wiped out. Whoosh, this wave just destroyed everything. In Egypt, it was just a flood. The flood got really tall, and then it kind of subsided. North America, it was a wave that just annihilated everyone and everything that was there. So all the history of North America completely gone. I heard of a Navajo story of where there was a cataclysm, where there was a flood, and when the survivors emerged, the landscape was just entirely different, just completely different when they emerged. I don't know how. Yeah, sure, we'll pause.
Sorry about that. I almost pissed myself. But Navajo story, water, flood.
Yeah, so there's this myth that there was a flood and cataclysmic event changed the world entirely, and the landscape was just totally different. And this is from natives from like the Northwest United States, like Washington, Oregon, things like that. I don't know if it was Navajo specifically, if the story reaches that tribe specifically. But I know this is a common story between a lot of tribes, is that the landscape just got totally reformed. So if you look at Washington State, like the Scaplands is what they call it, but it looks like water just ripped up huge, like mile-long swaths of land, and they just tore it out of the ground, because there's a bunch of flat land, and then there's just pockets, like canyons in the flat land that just got ripped out. And these canyons are like hundreds of feet deep, so it's like as if a giant wave of water just tore up all of this land as it washed through. And it wouldn't be just water. It'd be like sludge, you know, a bunch of rocks and boulders and shit like that. It wouldn't just be pure water.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like it all seems pretty compelling when you look at like the geography from like 200 feet from a drone. You know, you're looking at like the geology. You're like, holy shit, dude. It kind of does look like water ripped all this stuff out. Like, how much water would that take to like tear out a mountain?
Mm.
You know, it's like, fuck, maybe this did happen. Maybe there was a great flood like 10,000 years ago.
I wouldn't doubt it, especially like all like the more sandier regions, like, you know, like going toward California, and there's like those sand dunes. Like I wouldn't doubt like the water
Kind of settled or something.
Yeah, because like I mean that amount of sand doesn't just like appear out of
or
nowhere.
like while it was settling, it was like creating the sand. Maybe I don't know.
Or maybe even got like pocketed, like the actual like sea salt just like went over the ridge or the mountainside.
Kind of like came back.
Yeah,
like a backsplash wave.
Yeah,
maybe. It's crazy. They say that the Egyptian desert was a rainforest at one time, like back before the Ice Age. It like should have been tropical. Damn. You know, they still find they say they still find whale bones in the desert out there. I mean, they're like millions of years old.
Yeah,
but it's still like, I don't know how long did this sand preserve stuff? You know, like what else is under the sand? You know, what if it's a whole city under there? Like, who knows? You know, there's like studies on the Sphinx that there was 1,000 years of rainfall on the Sphinx at one point. And it's like the only time rain fell was 10,000 years ago in the Egyptian desert. Like, it's not like there was rainfall constantly ever, except before this time period. So it's like, how did that exist at the same time? If it's only 4,000 years old, how does it have 1,000 years of rainfall on it? You know, and like archaeologists are like, no, that can't be right. And like, they always have some sort of justification, but it's like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's some compelling evidence. There's photos of limestone that have been in regions that rain a lot compared to limestone that the Sphinx was made out of. The erosion looks pretty fucking close. Like, of rainfall erosion. It's like, I don't know, did rain fall in the Sphinx or not?
It's like, it only makes sense, you know, like.
Yeah. And one of the craziest parts about it is Graham Hancock brings up this point that like the zodiac signs of the constellations, they rotate very slowly. Every like 12,000 years, they rotate to the next point. So like the constellation that rises at the the equinox will be different 12,000 years later. It'll be a different constellation, right? And if you take the Sphinx, which is supposed to be a lion, the last time that Leo rose in front of the Sphinx was 12,000 years ago. So Leo rose right where the Sphinx was pointing at the time of this great cataclysm. And like, is this supposed to be like a pointer, like a calendar, or like a warning? Is it supposed to be like some sort of symbol? Like, dude, all these things are like, they seem like such vague coincidences, but it's like they all line up. Like, what the fuck? Like, why do they all line up? It's so weird.
The little we actually know, you know?
Yeah, the only time that, you know, the Great Pyramids are built in the shape of like Orion.
Yeah.
The constellation Orion.
Yeah.
The only time that sequence lines up with Orion's belt would be the same time the Sphinx lines up with Leo. So like the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx both line up with the same points 12,000 years ago. Like, it doesn't make sense to the history of the world as we know it. Like they had to know something. Like there had to be some sort of geological marker to be like, this is going to happen at this time. And like it had to be some sort of knowledge that we had that something was going to happen. Like even that's in the myths. Even like the people that survived the great cataclysm or the great flood, like Noah, he had previous knowledge that there was going to be a flood. He knew that. Like every myth, the person who prepares had knowledge of the flood. Nobody knows why. It's just, oh, they were told by God. Like, okay, but how? Like, was it just a voice in his head, or like what happened? Like,
I just knew.
Yeah, he just knew, dude. He got his family on that boat, and they lived. I don't know. They got every animal they could. Like, I think they just saved their cattle, dude. I don't think it was every single animal. They just saved their fucking cattle so they could keep eating, dude.
Well, I mean, I feel like when it comes to storytelling too, sometimes like the emotional side can definitely exaggerate a lot of facts, especially with a more true story, but just so that it gives it an element of like relatability. And then on top of that too, like you're trying to entertain people along. So
yeah. Were you taught as a kid, like the origin of the world? Was that something that
I was more so brought up in a Christian background, so like I
the Adam and Eve story,
yeah.
And the...
But then as time went on too, I learned my more traditional methods too of how the world came about, and you know, like how Mother Earth came to be, and if
so
I
you get like both, like two different sides
Yeah.
of the story.
It's just that
Do you see any similarities?
I see somewhat similarities, but more so I see more of argument than there is similarities, and that's just based on culture.
Are the ethics similar? Like are the morals similar? Like, you know, treat people as you want to be treated, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
if anything though, like the major difference, at least to my understanding, when it comes to our Apache culture, is that the woman is more important. Like the women of our tribe are more important. They're more stronger. They're more understanding. They're more ethical, especially given the fact that we live on Mother Earth. So of course the women are the ones to lead, to understand, and of course there's chiefs, there's tribal leaders, there's those that have led different clans of sort, and normally it's not a woman, but at the same time we still give
the emotional battles are for the women.
Yes.
And like the physical battles are for the men.
Yeah.
Almost. Right?
And then on top of that too, like I feel like there, at least to the traditional practice of it, women are more so respected than their counterparts of men. But on the flip side of that though, like nowadays though, like not everybody's raised in both, whether a Christian background or a traditional background.
Yeah, it's secular.
Yeah, so like now that train of thought has been lost to the point to where like some people just don't grow up with any ethics. Some people don't grow up with any religion, any
We're all the same.
any morals.
We're all the same.
Yeah, and then it just turns into like, you know, like
that's not true. It's just not true, dude. We're not all the same. Like you can't fucking grow up believing that. Like I'm sorry. Like you can't say like women are men. Like it's not a thing. No, we're totally different. Like
yeah. And then I mean, for me, I just have a stronger understanding of like, hey, I know where I come from. I know who I am. I know what I was raised to believe, and at least I'm gonna have I'm at least gonna have my daughter to understand that, hey, this is a path that you can walk. You don't have to walk it, but I just want you to know, like, I support you, because that was the one thing that at least me as a child I didn't have. I didn't necessarily have the support of like, this is the music that I like, or this is the style that I like, or this is the culture that I like. Like, now it's more like me trying to be as understanding as possible because I had a mentor of mine. Well, technically he's my family member, but he's not necessarily my family member, but we call him Squirrel. He's a white guy that grew up on the res, and he came really close to my family.
Mm-hmm.
But he brought up a story that involved him like wanting to, at one point in his life, he wanted to like get recruited to the NHL, so like he could become pro. But something that he always like taught me was like, like if my parents just kind of gave me that opportunity to just like believe in me a little bit more, I may have not made it to the NHL, but who knows, like I might have gotten a scholarship out of it. So I could have went to college because of it. Just like that little effort of support just to understand like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like it could have pushed me to go a little bit further than where I went. So that's why I always feel like when it comes to my daughter, it's like, yeah, like you want to play piano, go for it. You want to dance, go for it. Like I'm going to support you in what it is that you want to do, just so that you can make that extra step to like,
mm-hmm.
you had the opportunity, at least to be given the opportunity at that. But at the same time too, like I can only go so far with her. Like from there, it's her. So that's why it's like, when it comes to people of my tribe or like people of any tribe or people of any assortments, it's like, yeah, I mean, we're all raised different morals or religions or different methods, but at the end of the day, it's just us to be like legit humans, to be fucking peaceful, or if not that, be understanding, compassionate, empathetic, like. Or you could also be a shitty ass person too,
Yeah.
But and at the end of the day too, like you can't blame that on your parents. You blame that on yourself because you're the one that chose that road to be that shitty type of person. You might have been raised up in shitty ass circumstances, but
it's up to you to recognize it.
Yeah, and you got to call yourself out on your own shit too. Like at least that's how it is for my case too. It's like, hey, I wasn't the best of a guy, but I did my best, and here I am now. And I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm learning to grow with my mistakes and teach others to not make those mistakes, but it's up to them. I mean, I could guide you as best as I possibly can, but at the end of the day, like, hey, if you're going to keep doing the same old shit that you always do, then that's going to be the same old shitty road that you're going to keep walking.
Yeah, for sure. Well, since I've known you, you've been a great guy.
Oh, thank you.
I haven't seen your shitty side.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, and I'll be honest too. Like, I haven't been necessarily the best of a person, but I learned from my mistakes, and I'm glad that as time has moved on, like I've learned to grow with it too. And I think a lot of that to my own daughter too is because my daughter is the one that maybe opened up my eyes of like, hey, I can't keep fucking living the same old life. Like I have to change. I have to grow, because now somebody that's younger than me, and not only just younger than me, but somebody that came from me, is someone that looks up to me. And now it's my responsibility to at least guide them to understand life as long as I possibly can.
How old is she now?
Right now she's 7.
7?
Yeah, she's gonna be.
Okay, so she's starting to figure shit out then.
Oh man. Oh fuck, man. I swear, like my daughter, she's like so
starting
like,
to step into reality. Like
oh man. She's at that point where she's questioning everything of like, why? Like why? Or what? Or like how? Or like, and it goes to the point where I'm like, I just don't have answers, and I have to be honest with her too, because it's like I don't want to lie to you, but I don't want to give the same old shitty answer of like because I told you.
It's like I don't even have the time to explain.
like man, I'm doing my best.
That's why I send you to school. All right,
I'm gonna do my best to explain as much as I possibly can, but I don't know all the answers too. And I'm not gonna pretend like I know all the answers too, because
that's not as good.
Yeah,
that's not
because
good
see,
either, dude. That's
that's
not a good precedent to set.
Yeah, because that's the thing too, is like I had so many people in my life too that felt like they knew all the answers. But then as time went on too, you see them eat the same old shit that you sat.
Yeah, that could be
with.
dangerous.
Yeah. And it's like, hey man, like you judged me for the way that you felt about certain things, but yet you didn't necessarily look at your own life and think like, oh, I know it all, or like, oh, I know all this shit. And then come to find out you come through the same valley that I just walked through, because that's life, you know, like life's gonna fucking kick you right back in the ass, and then gonna have you walk down your same words that you just spoke, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I try to remind myself. I have barely any answers.
oh,
I have very little answers for anything. Like if you keep that mindset, like you can have a good idea, but like to have a sure thing fucking answer about something, like it better be math. Like it better be 2 + 2 is 4. Like I don't know, man. Like there's so many variables throughout life. It's like you can't tell me you have it figured out. You can't even talk to me like you have it figured out. Like you have to come at me with some sort of uncertainty for me to believe you. Like if you don't have a question at the end of it, like that might be how it goes. You know, if you don't come at me with like that sort of attitude, like I'm just not going to believe you. I think you're just bullshitting me. Like if you're 100%, 110% sure of something, like I'm going to ask why.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, why? Why do you believe that? You know, why? Like, you know, people didn't like me in the military for that. When I was in the Navy, I would always,
because you had to
why?
question.
Why are you doing that? Why are you deciding this?
And it's always like just because.
Yeah.
Or like, don't question it too.
What the fuck, dude? You're the only guy asking why. Just go do it. Like,
like you didn't come here to ask why. You came here to just.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm never going to grow out of that.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as I live, I'm going to be like a fucking 80-year-old guy. Just being like, why? Like, why? Why do I need to fucking take these pills?
Because, Spencer.
Why do you need to wheel me outside right now?
You can't live without it. Why?
I'm fine playing Skyrim.
Good. You're finally awake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how many people are like totally resistant to that. Like, oh, why are you asking me why? You know, like they get mad about it. Like, don't question me. It's like,
but
I don't get it, man. Like, if people ask me why, I will gladly tell them why.
Yeah,
every time. So it's like, ask me as many questions as you want. I will answer all of them.
And at the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to too. Is like, it's because they don't know the answer, and that's why they get so defensive about it. Is like,
yeah,
I don't want you to know that I don't know the answer, but I want to tell you what it is that I feel is right.
Yeah, I get that at work a lot.
Oh,
man. Can't name any names. Don't want to get fired.
Spencer's a good worker.
They know that. That's why I'm not fired yet. They know I do good work. I take my time and make sure everything's fucking like exactly the way the owner of the company, fucking Jeff, this guy, like if he looked at my work, he'd be like, absolutely, that's exactly how I would expect it to be done. And then you look at other work that we've done in the past. It's like, oh man, like some people just don't have the, I don't know, they don't have the eye for it. Like I can make things look good. Like I'm like an artist at heart, you know. I used to draw all the time. I would paint. My mom was crafting all the time. So like I have this artist mindset where it's like it has to look fucking perfect.
Like symmetrical, if you will. Too.
Yeah, symmetrical. Like all the wires have to be in line. They can't just be like crossing and twisting the whole way. Like, so I take my time and make sure everything looks really good, and the rack is all set up. The labels are all the same distance away from the connector. Like everything looks the same. You know, I take my time and make sure it looks good. It's like, if you don't do that, the next guy that comes back is going to walk into this mess of bullshit. Like, how the fuck am I going to like fix this?
Because that's how you felt though, was the thing.
Yeah.
When you first walked into it.
That's how I feel every single job. I walk into it like, holy fuck, who did this? Like every single time I ask myself that question. Like, how do you walk away from this? Like, you're going to finish the job and be like, well done. All right, I'm good. I'm going home. Yeah. I deserve this money. Like, like, dude, there's people with such low standards. Like, holy shit, man. It's really not that hard to just do it the right way or do it in a way. Like, there's no right way to do this kind of shit, but you could do it in a way where the next guy that comes back can just like pop a piece of gear out and like plug it back in. You know, like replace something really easily, or like they can read all the labels to where you know exactly where something's gonna need to be plugged in at. Like there's 30 pieces in this rack that's like literally this big. It could fit into the camera frame. And it's like 30 different devices with like 40 cables going in. It's like, yeah, you can set that up to where you can read all the labels. Or you can be a piece of shit and just make it a spider web. Like, and go home early. Sure.
Call him Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'm the opposite of Spider-Man. I fix all Spider-Man's work.
He works at the Daily Bugle.
Fucking Troy is Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah, he never listens to this. He'll never know. Troy won't know. Everyone else who listens to this will know.
Oh, man.
So, what's coming up for Alliance?
As I said, right now we're just looking for a bassist. Once you get that bassist locked in, we have... I think right now what I could say is that we have 2 shows locked in for February. We might have a show locked in for March. We have something in May and we have something in June. So basically the first half of our year is going to be pretty occupied. I just got a pretty interesting call when it came to traveling here, is that we might be hitting the road with a pretty interesting band. So, but we'll see what comes out of that.
Is that something you can't really talk about yet?
I can't fully like.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I can't put names to it right now because it's all like.
Kyler did that shit to me like 3 times, dude.
But overall, what I can say though is that we're gonna be on the move. It's just that I think if anything, the main 2 things that are gonna be happening next year is just us getting on the road more, and us potentially writing for what's going to be our next release. I will say that this next EP is probably going to be our last EP before we start venturing on to potential like album. Or
So I have a question for you. Are you using the songs from your EP on your album?
No. I would think that once we get this last EP locked in, then I would want to start fresh. I would want to
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. Most bands will write an EP and then they'll just re-record and remix it for the album.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's what you're gonna do, that's cool as fuck. I think that's dope.
I think for me, how I see it is just that we've already experienced these things. Like we've already lived through these. We have memories with these songs, these EPs. So like, I wouldn't want to like cheap sell like everybody else of like, oh, like, yeah, we're going to have an album out, but it's just going to be a compilation of all of our EPs. Like
yeah,
no, like
not all the EPs.
Yeah.
Is there any songs you're bringing from your EPs to the album? Or are you literally just going from scratch?
I would think right now it's going to be from scratch.
Okay.
But still, I would still want to at least write one more EP that's going to tie off. Because, of course, like, as you see the scheme right now for our EPs, it's chapter 1, Let Go, chapter 2, Aspire to Ascend. So this chapter 3, it's going to be the trilogy, if you will. Like, this is going to be at the end of it. But this is something that I've been wanting, at least in my head, how I've been wanting to tackle things because once it comes to writing an album, I kind of want to go the route of like a conceptual album. Like I would want to be like upon one topic or like something that we all feel relation to where that whole album's gonna talk about it.
Do the Great Flood.
Yes.
Now I gotta send you some Graham Hancock shit. You'll see it. You'll be like, holy fuck, man, this stuff's crazy. You've never heard of that guy?
Nah.
Yeah, you gotta look into the Graham Hancock.
But that
even just the Joe Rogan episodes, you'll see it. It'll give you some ideas.
But yeah, that's the route that I want to go though. Is I just
absolutely.
want to get more conceptual with it, and then, and even if it doesn't go the route of conceptual, then I would still want to still be in the premises of doing a full album, because I know like everybody is big on singles, everybody's big on EPs, everybody's big on like short,
Faster, dude.
Yes,
short attention spans.
But I mean, like, at least for me in my own heart, like that's not what got me into music. Like I didn't get into music because of a single or because of an EP. Like I listened to the full album. Like I loved listening to the full album because I got to hear the artist's full experience of like from track one, whether it's just barely a shitty ass intro or whatever, all the way to like their deep cuts, all the way to their outro song, which is more than likely a ballad or more than likely just something of like of sentiment.
Dude,
like,
Pink Floyd, their albums as a whole, like, dude,
it's just an experience.
It's just an
like,
hour-long song.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an album. It's an hour-long song.
Yes.
Like, it's so fucking good. So, like, if you're focusing on writing albums as an entire piece in itself, like, dude, I love that idea. I love it. That's great. The longer the song, the better for me. If you can make the whole album a song, that'd be great. Dude. If you can make them tie into each other, like super smooth transitions, like Pink Floyd used to do, you know, like if you could do that, like that would be fucking excellent, dude. I love it when I can't tell if it's the next song or not. That's the best. Like if it just keeps
like you
going,
can barely hear the transition, or if not, you can't even hear the transition.
Like I used to listen to Opeth a lot. And I would listen to Opeth and be like, "Is this a new song?" No, okay. Like it's still the same song. Like I can't tell. Like I'm fine with that. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's still good.
No, that's what me and Isaiah were talking about recently too. Is like Isaiah was like, "I'm sorry, man." He's like, "I just love writing long songs," and I don't mind it either.
Dude, that's good.
It's just the fact that for me, understanding the business side of it, it's like, okay, well, we need to at least adhere to unfortunate marketing standards or like at least like radio standards, because that's something, and I know that's not the necessary approach that everybody else likes to take, but
it doesn't have to be everything.
Yes, I mean
you have to have some things that fit that mold.
Yes,
but even like 75% of your shit could be outside the mold.
Yes, and that's really where I come from. It's just the fact that I want at least one, if not two songs that are gonna adhere to what everybody else is listening to, everybody else wants. However, the rest of the album, the rest of the stuff, that could be whatever the fuck we want, because that's what I want. I want to give the raw addition to what everybody else is thinking that is us, because they're going to go through an experience. They're going to go through their own sort of understanding of like, oh, wow, like this is Alliance from the San Carlos Apache tribe. Like this is Native American metal, if you will. And at the end of the day, like I'm just trying my best to get not only just us, but like Native American tribes throughout the nation out there. Like, hey, there's plenty of other bands that are through these different reservations that you guys could go follow, you guys could go listen to, you guys could go check out. But let us break the mold. Let us at least get to that level to build that conversation of like, oh, did you hear Alliance? And then it built into, oh, well, there's other bands like Alliance. Like there's this. Like, okay, sweet. Like, fuck yeah. Like that's at least in a way, that's my goal. Like I just want to keep working at it, and eventually one of these days, like I could at least sit down with my friends or my colleagues that, you know, we grew up in the scene with, to say like, hey, we did this. Like,
Is there another Native band you'd send my way?
Under Exile.
Under Exile?
Under Exile from
Damn, that
the
was
Navajo
quick.
Nation.
That was a quick answer.
Yeah, Under Exile, Ocean Harvest from Gila River.
Ocean Harvest. I've heard of those dudes.
I would say another one is Secret Earth from the Pueblo Nation. Those guys are. I like Secret Earth a lot because like they're much more modern with today's like metalcore, deathcore, but it's so cool because of the fact that they're from such a rural area that they sound so like modern. So I don't know what about that just like blows my mind.
They're
but
just
it's like,
fucking putting it together
yeah,
correctly.
and the thing too is like their resources are so fucking limited to the point where it's like, damn, you're fucking producing that shit. You're mixing
someone fucking knows what they're
mastering it.
doing then.
Yeah, and
One of those dudes knows what they're doing.
yeah, and that's what always blows my mind is like, damn, like y'all are keeping up with the rest of us, even though you guys don't even have the same resources as us.
Which one was that? Ocean Harvest?
No, Secret Earth.
Secret Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not that, then I would honestly say 6 Million Dead. They're like a black and death metal band from I believe they're a mix of like Gila, San Carlos, Tohono O'odham, and there's another tribe that I'm missing right now. But they had like this big old flag that had all like different tribal seals on it.
Oh, nice.
But that's what their compilation of. I mean, they've opened up for like Soulfly. They've opened up for.
That's cool, man.
They've opened up for a lot of national acts, to be honest. Besides that, our boys in Low Cash Ninjas from the Shiprock, they're like a crust punk band, but they sound really fucking tight and very clean. Our boys from Heart Museum, they're like a hardcore metalcore band from Albuquerque. I mean, they're a mix of like Farmington and Albuquerque, but I would say like they sound just like the Ghost Inside.
Do all these guys have like a YouTube channel?
Yeah, they all have social medias. They all have different YouTube channels. They're all on streaming platforms.
Send me a text with these dudes' names on it.
Oh fuck yeah!
I'll just put them in the fucking episode description.
Yeah.
Fuck it, dude. I'll just drop all their band names in the episode description. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think all of them have all been not only just great dudes, but just the fact that they like us just as much as we like them, and we've all been like growing in the same sort of field of like we live these two different lives. So like we have like the lives that we have on our tribe, and then we have like the lives in the actual scenes that we're growing into.
Yeah.
So like us, it's like the Arizona scenes, like it's so massive, but yet of course like there's a few bands like ourselves, Existence AD, 6 Million Dead, Ocean Harvest, like we're still running things like within the Arizona scene, but we come from different like reservations, different tribes.
Yeah.
And all of those other bands that I listed too, they're running the same thing off of their own scenes, but then at the same time branching off into like the main like cities that run their states, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So like it is hard. It's tough. It's especially hard to try to bring a lot of that back to our own reservations. But at the same time too, like it's cool just given the fact that we get to like always jam with these guys. We get to always see them on the road. And at the end of the day, like it's a much bigger picture that we're painting, not just only for ourselves, but like for the tribes that we come from. Because like nowadays, like shit, man, like we'll play a hometown show or we'll play somewhere like close to home, and I'll get like a kid that's like wearing our shirt and it's just like, hey man, like I heard you guys from here. Like I come from San Carlos too, and like I really am inspired by what it is you guys do, and that always fucking blows my mind because it's like, damn, like
don't make me cry.
Yeah, like no.
Like,
so okay. This is the reason why I wore this shirt. Okay, this shirt, what it says is "Children of the Sun." There's this man. His name's Bobby, and Bobby, he met us at the Herd Museum in Central Phoenix. We played a show there back in August, and Bobby came up and he was wearing this shirt. He's like, hey man, he's like, what's up, Scotty? And he gave me a big old hug, and he was like, hey, my name's Bobby. He's like, I drew up this design. He's like, I'm not into. He's like, I'm not really big into metal. He said, but I drew up this design because I was inspired by you guys' music. I was inspired by the fact that you guys got on 98 KPD. He's like, I was inspired by the fact that you guys wrote this song about such heavy topics like drug addiction or like the loss of your family, like going through grief. And he was like, my favorite songs are like Apache, Morning Sickness, In Memory, and Chains. He's like, but the reason why I wanted to show you this is because like, you know, I just wanted to let you know, like, even though I'm from a different tribe, he's like, we're technically sister tribes because I think he's from the Yavapai Apache Nation. But he was like, even though we're from different tribes, he's like, you're still inspiring people to create stuff. He's like, from the shit that you're creating. He's like, I just want you to know that, and I wanted to see it face value that, you know, you understand that like what you're doing is bigger than what it is that you think you're doing. And man, when I was at Herd, I almost fucking cried. And I was like, man, like I was all like teary eyed, and I gave him a big old hug. And I was like, man, thank you. Like, cause at that same time, that same day, that same show that we played, that was the same night that Isaiah broke his femur. And myself, Aaron, and Laryl, we had to continue that show.
At a show? He broke it at a show?
No, he didn't broke it at a show, but he broke it the night before that show.
Oh, okay.
So like that next day when we were going to the Herd Museum, I wasn't sure how we were gonna do was the thing. Like I was just like, damn, like
you played it anyways?
Yeah, well we're like I couldn't say no because it was such a big opportunity and it was something that
so you just went a man down?
Yeah. And
Whoa.
I just had to tell Aaron, like, hey man, like you're gonna have to step up to be lead. So Aaron was like, yeah, he's like, I'll do it. And it was hard. It really was hard. And it felt weird because that was one of the first times that we actually like played a show without Isaiah. So it made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, man.
But even after that show too, like to have Bobby here to like come up and say what's up and like just give his story was like, man, like a reminder of like, wow, like even on our worst days, like there's still somebody out there that's still watching us. But anyways, so then fast forward just about 3 weeks ago, we played in Albuquerque. Bobby came back and we're playing at the Isleta Casino. And Bobby was like, hey, what's up, bro? I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And I didn't recognize him at first, but then he reminded me. He's like, hey, he's like, I have the shirt for you, the same shirt that I made. He's like, I made it just for you. He's like, here. He said, I just want to remind you, like, doesn't matter how far you go, like, you still have supporters, like diehard supporters at that too. And I just want you to recognize the fact that, you know, you're heard, and I appreciate you guys' music and being out here. Man, like that time I did fucking cry. I was like, bro, like, man, like that means a lot. Like it and I guess that's why too, like maybe, and I'll be honest, like with the audience and yourself too, is just the fact that I haven't been feeling music lately. Like I've been feeling stressed from it. I've been feeling so much like hardship from it because it's taken so much from me. I've had to make a lot of sacrifices with my family. I've had to make a lot of sacrifices with my job, my career. But it's because I still fucking love to do this shit. Like no matter what, like no matter how much money I make, no matter how shitty the show might be, like I still love doing this shit. And like it was hard, but like hearing moments like that or hearing or seeing people or like even being here right now with you, like it means a lot. Like just given the fact like, hey, like people want to hear what it is I'm about or like where I'm going through or shit like that. So like I appreciate it. And like Bobby, if you're listening or you're watching, I appreciate you and I appreciate everybody else that's, you know, tuning in right now. I'm pretty sure it's from people that have seen us in previous shows or like people that know us. Just thank you guys. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, just
dude, your episode with Isaiah is still like in the top of the charts, man. Like you guys still have like the most views out of it. And I know we talked about it earlier, how you made reels and you promoted him yourself. Like that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
But like you guys are still have like the most views on any of the episodes. I mean, so if you really want to get out there, like that's how to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
but at this, like, I appreciate how much you respect this platform,
Yeah.
and I really love your mindset as far as like how the industry goes and how we need to like accumulate our effort in order to further the scene.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to ourselves too. Like, there's gonna be a lot of naysayers. There's gonna be a lot of people that are so upset with the fact that like it's a business, or by the fact that they have to like pay
Well,
to
they're
to
upset.
do this
They're
shit.
ignorant.
Yeah, and see that, and that's what I'm getting
They're just
to is
ignorant.
it's just due to the fact like you can't do what it is that we're doing without having to make investment. Like, you have to make investment with time, you have to make investment with money,
Yeah.
with the things that you're gonna utilize when it comes to your band, to your brand. You have to make investment in your merchandise to make sure that that's gonna pay you out at the end of the night. It's like, not every show is gonna fucking pay you $100-$200. Like, every show is maybe gonna pay you $50, if not
Maybe
even
nothing.
less. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
maybe
not
nothing at all. Like the merch you sell, that's your money.
Yes, and that's
Like-
the thing too. The merch you sell and the relationships that you build, that's gonna be the things that
Just
pay
always
you.
bring t-shirts.
Oh fuck yeah.
Always bring t-shirts.
And it doesn't even, and see, that's the thing too, is like, don't even get discouraged by the fact that you might have to sell a shirt for $10. Fucking cut your prices, make that sale, because that's gonna be the thing that's gonna fucking
15.
Man, that's
Because 10 is gonna be a big loss.
yes, but
At,
I mean,
at this day and age, or
Well,
the economy, like you gotta charge 15. I'm sorry. Like, it's not price gouging, it's survival.
well,
Like
I would just say like it just comes down to like you're doing it, you know,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're
Like,
doing, you're not only are you doing it, but you're surviving.
if
off
you
of
get
it.
the shirts printed before the show, you're already doing it.
yes,
Like if you go out and plan to the point where you're getting merch before your show, you're already doing it.
Yes.
Like just get better at selling the merch. Like sell it online, sell
Yes.
it everywhere you can.
yes,
Like that's the only way to make it as a metal band right now.
And
Like,
right-
I don't
and-
know if in 5 years it'll be different, but right now you're a t-shirt salesman.
yes.
Go sell t-shirts. Like that's the only way you're gonna make good money. Like I'm sorry.
It
Like,
really is. I mean,
be the coolest fucking person you can be, and then sell all the t-shirts you can. Like,
and you know, you don't have to do it, but the thing is if you do it, you live to see another day. You live to see another show. You live to be able to say like,
yeah, shit. You can buy your next guitar. You can buy your next fucking whole setup.
you can
Like,
buy a
can-
hotel
You
instead
can,
of
buy your next tour out of town. Like,
Yes.
you got to increase your fucking visibility and your likability to the point where you can afford the next upgrade. You
Yeah,
know?
and-
So you got to work at it and improve.
and it definitely is hard, and it's not the easiest thing to just break into, especially like when you're new to, say, a scene, to a new state,
Yeah.
to a new city. But man, like
Discipline.
if you give, at least how I've always approached it too, is like if you give your heart out to it, like if you show how much passion you have for it on stage, they're gonna come pouring in. Like everyone's gonna compliment you, everyone's gonna want to
dude.
get to know you because of how much you invested into it. For just that 30 minutes that you have on stage, if you can show them what you got in 30 minutes, that's all that matters.
Just the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That's why I love Amaya, dude.
Oh,
they
fuck
go
yeah.
on stage and they fucking put 110% into that performance
Fucking
every
when
time.
the moment Dakota takes off his vest and it's just like full titties, like that's like the most, like, fuck yeah, like you're doing it. You're fucking
Yeah,
like-
and I like Bradley when he's up there and
man.
he's playing. Like I've talked to him before and he's like a you know, kind of quiet, like
He-
you know, matter of fact kind of guy,
Yep.
and he's pretty like
But he
sure
has
thing.
such
But
a
they,
strong,
when he
beautiful
sings,
voice,
like dude, he
man.
explodes when he sings. I'm like, holy shit, dude! It just takes me off guard every time. Like his cover of "Numb" by Linkin Park,
man.
so good, dude. He's
Like,
he's
he-
so good.
like you can tell he's pretty shy about it, and he like closes his eyes
He's
as
humble.
he's singing it.
He's humble.
But it's like man, like dude, you got such a beautiful voice. He actually told me too. He was like, hey man, he's like, next time that Amaya and Alliance plays, he's like, you think I could play, or you think I could sing Misery because it's one of our songs? and I was like, dude, I was like, fucking of course. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I've been kind of meaning to like tell you guys, but he's like, I'm kind of shy to say it.
He's so humble, dude. It's like, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, of course. Like, I would fucking love for that to happen. So like,
dude, everyone in the crowd would love it.
Yes.
Even if they're not even familiar with you guys.
Yes, exactly.
They'd be like, what? Another band is going to sing for another band?
Yes.
Like, yeah, dude.
Yes. That's what I was so fucking stoked about. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, I just know that right now where we stand with this band is just the fact that it's not just like our tribe that's looking at us. It's like many tribes that are looking at us. And it's not just those many tribes that are looking at us, but it's just like all of these different scenes that we've grown acquaintances with and like people that we've gone to know. Like, man, like everyone's really rooting for us. So like, I do my best. Well, first of all, I do my best not to get big headed about it because like all of this can be taken away is the thing. And unfortunately, it has been taken away from us, like given the fact with COVID, Isaiah's health conditions, like there's been moments where we had to stop like completely, like we couldn't play anymore. And it's hard. So I know what it's like. And I felt that feeling of like, man, like just being stripped of everything that you've worked for. But simultaneously too, like I understand like, hey, I'm going to take this for what it is and I'm going to make the most out of this moment. So like every show that we were able to like get booked on or that we're able to meet with friends and stuff like that, I enjoy it to the fullest. Like Sad Dad Fest was like one of the best moments in my head because like even though like we're having technical difficulties throughout that show and then like even though like we were the opening act or like we didn't necessarily sell all of our pre-sales, like I took that moment to at least meet everybody, like at least say what's up, at least see everybody's sets. I stayed there from the very beginning all the way to the very end.
Yeah, shit, you even talked to me, dude.
Yeah, and I was so stoked. I was like, yo, fucking Spencer. And you're like, I'm so sorry. I just got in. I missed your set.
Yeah, dude, I fucking missed it, dude. I was so disappointed. It's like one of the bands I wanted to see was fucking your band. And I was like, no, but
I mean, that's the thing too. Is like I'm okay with that. Like it's just more so the fact like I'm living in the moment. I'm appreciating it. And then eventually you did come out to our set too. So, you know, that's where I'm like, hey, it's okay. Like I don't, and see, that's another thing too about like a lot of local bands is like, they take shit really personal. Like the moment that you say no, the moment that you say like, oh, I'm sorry, like I can't make it to a show or like, I can't support you tonight.
I try not to think about that.
Yeah. And see, and that's something I don't, but at the same time, it's like, man, like, don't take it so personal.
Yeah,
like
if
it's
they're
okay.
taking it personally, like that's their thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't really be everybody's dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you gotta like if you take it personally, that's on you. Like, I don't know, man. It's like I try to come out like I didn't make it or like I was working or,
yeah.
You know, like I was gonna pass out driving.
And
it's like I can't go out because I'm gonna die. You know, it's like don't take it personally, dude. Like I'll try to come out if I can, you know, like.
But that's okay though. Like I'm not trying to necessarily.
You got to realize you're in the entertainment business.
Yes, and
it's like that's low on the totem pole.
And like
like at the end of the day, like it's art and art is important, but everyone's really trying really hard to survive right now. So it's like you got to like let some things go.
Yeah. And I always feel too like even if it didn't necessarily work out that same night, like it'll work out eventually. Like if I just keep going at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like people want to hear Alliance.
Yeah.
So and it's like there are plenty of people who want to hear it.
Yes. And it's just like, hey, they just so happen to have to work tonight. They just so happen to have some shit come up.
Maybe everyone's working tonight.
Yes.
It's like there's 4 people in the bar. It sucks.
I just can't blame them for that too, is the fact. Like I remember with the Onto Other show too, like I was pushing out as much as I could to like all of our following that was in Tucson, but like everybody was like, hey, I'm so busy. It's a weekday. Like I got work
The
tomorrow.
weekdays
And
are tough. Dude.
yeah,
They're
and
always-
that's always gonna be the most toughest sell.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, too, it's like, okay, I'm still gonna make the most out of this moment. I'm still gonna impress this. I'm still gonna impress this promoter. I'm still gonna do what it is that I'm here to do, and hopefully, I make as much sales as I possibly could.
Prove that the weekend spots where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
you know, like
and-
that's the goal.
Yes, exactly, and that's where like not a lot of bands see it the same
Yeah,
way
stick
because
it to the promoter. Be like, you put me on the wrong fucking day. Like, like you should put me on Saturday.
But on top
you
of
know?
that too, like a lot of bands too, they play the blame game of
Yeah.
like, oh, like this promoter doesn't like us, or like, oh, like there's all of these circumstances.
There's a lot
where
of
bands-
variables.
and yeah,
There's a lot of variables.
there will always be is the thing too,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm just like, hey, it's okay, I'll make it work. Even like today too, like I was trying to figure out like, okay, I had some other stuff at home that I need to situate too, but I wanted to talk to you was the thing. I was like, hey, like I haven't been able to talk like on a podcast or on an interview or anything of that sort in a hot minute. So like I just want to come here. I want to talk. I'm gonna make it work. And I did. Because then you texted me yesterday and I was like, I'll make it work. And sure enough, I did make it work.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate
here I
you
am.
being here for sure, though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how difficult it was, but I'm glad you're here, man.
Yeah.
Like, this conversation has been great.
Oh yeah. I always love coming here, and I always love watching all of your episodes too. And
You watch all of them?
well, I wouldn't say all of them. I've watched probably like a few episodes before ours going forward, but I haven't watched like the earlier stuff.
You don't have to.
Because you explained it to us too of the theater
It's-
situation and
It's
like,
the
audio situation.
If you're really a big fan and you want to see what at the beginning was like, you can go ahead and look at the earlier ones. But I was also trying to like cut
Figure
my
it out.
chops,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what I should be doing, like how the interview should be going. Like, I think I've gotten better at it since
yeah.
episode 1. Like it was me and Attila just bullshitting on a microphone. Like it was pretty bad. But I don't know. I got to get Attila back on for sure though. But
one of these days, man.
dude,
it's-
Attila's episode is gonna be all like theology, like religion. Like, dude, I will talk with Attila about religion for hours. Like he's
Send
like
it down.
he's like Orthodox Christianity. Like he's like, dude, he's like so devout. It's impressive. Like I respect it. I really do. Like his fucking dedication to like his branch of Christianity. Like I don't know. It's respectable at some point. Like it's like, damn, I wish I could have that sort of conviction to something. Like I don't though. Like I compare it to anything else in my life, and I'm like, dude, that's hardcore. Like that really is cool. Like
Yeah.
like I don't agree with everything that the belief has to offer, but the moral framework of like Orthodox Christianity, it's really hard to argue with. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at like all the saints and like all the saints of Orthodox, not like Protestant or like all the other Christianity, like they have other saints, you know. But the Orthodox saints, if you look at their quotes, it like applies to like it could apply to modern day life. You're like, this guy lived in like 1700. Like, how the fuck did he know like this works still? You know, so like there's a lot of stuff in that religion that's like really cool, and that's why I like talking with Attila about it. But next time he comes on, we're gonna have a super long conversation about like religion specifically.
Attila. Come on.
I'll tell him I mentioned him at the very end. You gotta watch the whole thing, motherfucker.
Gotta watch the whole thing just to hear your section.
Anyways, man, it was good talking with you. It was good. Have a great conversation. This was a really fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to be back a lot sooner than expected, but if not that too,
Well, when you get your bassist, bring him on.
oh yeah.
Whoever it is, dude.
I-
Knew you'd be like thrust into
Just
the.
like here,
You're in the
media.
limelight now.
tell your origin story, tell your life story.
It was good talking with you, man.
Yep.
Until next time.
Hey.